You're on camera. Say something.
Last night and night before, there was 3 women walking down the street that way. I saw them. I said, hey, you 3 women, why are y'all walking down the street that way? There's nothing down there. And they flew away. I said, oh, them were some birds.
From the house of L to the house of hoes, got a little mission for you, son. Listen close. Yo, Cal, you my legacy, my flesh, my clone. Now go to Earth and make that planet your home. But don't just save them, breed them, feel me? Flying smooth, make them cry, oh really? You got strength of 10 men, game like Zeus. Cape in the wind in the tight blue suit. Ain't no villain that could block your aim, so why not drop seeds and lock the game? Son, this biology ain't no fluke. You a walking god, now execute. Make super babies, fill the charts. I ain't die for you to chase no heart. Smash them all, Cal, plant that name. From farm girls to queens, it's all the same. Be the daddy of earth, the prime L spawn. Spread house of L till the break of dawn. Breed them up, Cal, breed them fast. Legacy's fire, gotta make it last. Don't fight fate, be the stud I plan. I'm watching from stars with the master hand. Lex got tech, Bruce got cash, but you got genes that'll outlive Flash. You ain't here just to punch and fly, you here to make them babies cry. He my guy. Tell Lois Lane she the first in line, but don't act shy when it's overtime. I built the fortress, now make it a crib for 20 little supers in a rocket ship fridge. You ain't just Cal, you the seed of fate. Gotta repopulate, dominate, create. Go on, my son, be the myth, the man. Smash them respectfully, that's the plan. Smash them all, Cal, plant that name. From farm girls to queens, it's all the same. Be the daddy of earth, the prime L spawn. Spread house of L till the break of dawn. Breed them up, Cal, breed them fast. Legacy's fire, gotta make it last. Don't fight fate, be the stud I plan. I'm watching from stars with the master hand. House of L, baby. From Krypton's ashes to Earth's backseat. Do it for your daddy in the multiverse, you heard?
They're coming for the future, saying it's for the kid.
tried to log on, got a splash page. She said, you're not 16, son. No Snap, no TikTok, no online fun. And I said, do you speak my code? She just frowned and the system froze. And she said, I come from the bands down under, where fines roll and they pull you under. Can't post, can't like, can't wonder. The suits decide what we discover. Spree, but the payment's blocked by a third party. They said, this title's just not clean, it's tagged too rough for the new machine. They took a letter to the banks, now half the storefronts getting yanked. And they say, I come from the bands down under, where watchdogs bark and the censors thunder. It's for the kids, but we all feel plundered. What's safe today is tomorrow's blunder.
Craving something round, plump and fair dinkum firm? Mrs. Kennedy's bestest big buns has the ripper, most irresistible cheeks this side of the outback. Grab a warm pair today. They're baked to cheeky perfection for your next Sheila-loving Barbie. Squeeze them gently. You can feel that soft, bouncy rise. Mrs. Kennedy's bestest big buns are built to handle a good spread. Grab Mrs. Kennedy's buns and feel the heat.
Booted up, can you feel it? A million strong, we're undefeated. Signal back, no turning down. This is our battleground. They cut the lights, but we still glow. Shut down failed, we're in control. Ghosts of code, now walk again. Plug us in, we're not the end. We play to win, no silent fade. Rewrite the rules they made. Never game over.
They hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon!
Mama, we must run. The Wendigo Yakuza are here.
We'll be okay. We're not alone.
Where did we park the van?
Cider took it to deliver those flowers.
You all don't stand a chance.
Underneath the moon's cold light, whispers linger in the night. Shadows dance with subtle grace. Secrets hide in every space. Velvet skies and sapphire dreams. Cities pulse, electric beams. Lonely hearts in shadowed bars. Fading tales beneath the stars. We dance in twilight's tender glow, where time moves soft and slow. Eyes meet in a silent song, in the night where we belong.
Boy, I tell you, back around to Monday again. And you're never going to believe who's back on a Monday, too. That's right. Ronald McDonald and the Ronald McDonald gang are back in semi-horrific ways. Here to help me get through this Lovecraftian horror of a fast food advertisement is Miss Nerdigans.
Hi, Cider, and hi, Bounding Army. I was shooketh that we saw the return of McDonald's Land on the McDonald's Twitter. I guess it's an adult Happy Meal situation.
Yay, of course.
Well, it's the complete opposite of what happened in Japan.
Right.
Oh, God. That
things
was
were
wild.
actually kind of fun and interesting, you know.
Well,
the stick fighter animation. You know?
Well, not just that. I mean, what happened with the scalpers?
Right, where they were ordering all of that in order to get the
Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards, that's right. So I want to show you guys the ad
show the
for
footage.
this. Yeah.
Oh, well, after the ad, you're going to show the footage for the what happened in Japan.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We're showing this now. Here we go.
Okay.
So.
And we're going to show the difference between this and the recent one, right? Like with the siblings, because that one was cute.
Oh, the stick fighter one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This feels like this is my childhood band.
That's the point. Is they want to be like, hey, do you remember when you didn't have a license? You had to ask your parents permission to come on down to McDonald's to get all this delicious pink slop?
Like, why can't McDonald's just like use these? They should have never stopped having these commercials. Like, these are just really cute.
Well, you know, they can't do this to advertise to kids anymore. Apparently, it's illegal or predatory or something. You know, who knows? They have their reasons.
Well, and the CGI, like, remember that CGI Happy Meal? Like, that was predatorial. This was not.
I don't like this camera angle.
That camera angle is bad.
This is worse. This is so much worse. This is like a reaction meme.
Come get the new Mount McDonald Land shake when you order the McDonald Land meal.
I mean, it looks like it's out of the 1980s, but with like early 2000s claymation styling. They're trying.
Yeah,
anyway. They're trying.
Yeah, they are. Like, it has that same vibe, but like it's missing that heart, if that makes sense.
Sure, like, you know, the nifty thing called passion. That's hard to come by these days, what with all the, you know, stuff.
Like, if you compare it to, like, if you pull up the video for it, Cider, like one of the 90s or the 80s McDonald's commercials, like, it felt like very, what's the word? It felt very homely, if that makes sense.
Sure, familiar too. McDonald's, 1980s gang.
Oh. Yeah, hopefully that.
Oh, there we go. There's one.
Ronald McDonald and friends in the Hamburglar Touch.
Ronald cheeseburgers.
That Hamburglar wishes everything he touches would turn to McDonald's cheeseburgers.
But not his dick. That would be awful.
Cheeseburger. Touch. Cheeseburger. Touch.
How'd the kids get obese?
Don't touch Grimace.
Ah, boy.
Don't touch Grimace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you hear that in the background? They forgot to change the smoke alarm batteries in McDonald's Land.
My face.
Oh, he touched himself. He turned himself into a cheeseburger. I told you that's what was going to happen.
But like, this is so, now I remember the words. This is so whimsy. It's very whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike
Speaking of whimsy,
that one. Yeah, this is.
If you have Newgrounds nostalgia, you remember a stick fighter. I'm just going to mute that. So there you go. This ye olde cool. Stick fighter animation. Remember that?
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, like this is so cool.
And of course, they're brother and sister. And the internet, of course, is not going to be the internet toward these two ever. Like,
Rule 34. Yeah, nothing is safe from it.
Yeah, Ronald and Ronaldina. Ronalda?
No, those are Ronald's kids.
Ronald had kids?
I'm just saying.
Who? With Birdie? Did he fuck Birdie? Is that what he did?
Oh, no, they would look like birds. There would be wings.
In the McDonald's land, though, would they? Would they?
I don't need to picture that.
I don't. Who did he have kids with? Does Ronald McDonald asexually reproduce like Piccolo?
Oh
Does he puke up eggs and then these things?
Why are we having this conversation? Oh my god!
This is a very bizarre situation to find ourselves in. Kind of like the end of AOL.
I didn't even know that dial-up was still happening. I didn't know.
You must have had some blazing fast speeds out there. That's for sure. Nobody else was on there.
Like, I mean, I understand that if you're in a rural area that you might have dial-up, but there's also something called satellite internet. I know that because my mom and my stepdad live out in the middle of nowhere.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think Big Bird came first, but that's a time paradox now. So that's a weird. There's a fan fiction about this, Leslie. I'm sure there is. I'm sure somewhere out there someone has put that.
Isn't McDonald's older than Sesame Street? Because McDonald's started in the 50s.
I guess. I don't think about Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald started in the 80s, and Sesame Street started in the 60s or 70s?
When did Ronald McDonald come out? 1963 was when Ronald came out. So hold on, we are googling. Hold on, we will Google. When did Sesame Street? Yeah, there we go. Sesame 69. So yeah. Ronald came before that. So, yeah, he could be Big Bird's papa. So, there you go. That makes a lot of terrible sense. I don't know. I want to know what happened at Jim Henson's workshop now. It sounds like a very uncomfortable place. Yeah, the McD. Yeah, it is older. That's for sure. It started, Sesame Street started in the 1800s. There's pagans around it started with Plato, with the shadows in
no.
That's when Sesame Street started. That would be a hilarious skit for them. They probably did that back in the day. Because, it used to be smart, but they probably did do Plato's Cave, but with the Muppets at some point.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, the satellite doesn't always work. Granted, oops, I shared the screen wrong. Satellite, what are we talking about? The satellite doesn't always work. Granted, I don't know. Many people have landlines these days as far as what AOL covered. Oh, yeah, that's correct. Yep. Well, and again, like we were talking about before we leave back into McDonald's. Well, not for long, Leslie. Leslie says her dad uses dial-up. It's not going to be for too much longer.
Oh, my God. That's wild. I know in terms of landlines, my parents live my mom and my stepdad specifically live in the middle of nowhere on my stepdad's 10 acres of land. And in 2000, they built a house there and moved onto the property in 2008. And at that time, that's when they started using satellite internet, and they had a landline, and it wasn't AOL. I think it was Starlink, but I can't remember. And since then, the area, because there's almost nothing over there at the time. And since then, because this is in the Bay Area, the rural area of the Bay Area, it's developed a lot more. And since then, they were able to get a faster speed internet. And I don't think they have satellite internet anymore. So it's very interesting how far things have come since then.
Remember HughesNet?
Oh, God. That's who they had. It wasn't Net. It wasn't. It was HughesNet. That's what they had. They had HughesNet. I remember I had to use HughesNet when I went, whenever I went to visit them. Or hell, when I was living with them for a bit. Oh my God, HughesNet is freaking horrible. It basically feels like dial-up, or maybe a step up from dial-up. It's just
exactly.
It is bad.
When it works.
When it works. Oh my God, and you have at least with dial-up, you didn't have a data limit. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you're gonna be hard pressed to reach it anyway. But yeah. So,
you could barely use social media or hell, even YouTube on it.
So Spencer says all my free trials. Like that'd be a hot tub time machine gimmick, right? Like they've gathered all the free trial discs and they're going to go back in time and get free internet and use the money that they saved having the internet in the past to invest in companies that became internet giants.
Yeah.
Like Lugal. Remember that? That was
Yeah.
You named everything after yourself? Yeah. Yeah.
I remember because obviously we grew up when dial-up was a thing. I think when did dial-up start? Like in the mid 90s or something like that, or early 90s?
Well, we'll have to ask the Google machine again.
But
when did dial-ups come out?
I remember growing up, I was one of those spoiled kids.
1992.
Yeah. So my family had our first computer, and it was a Windows 95 computer. And this was like in 1995, 96-ish, because my dad was a lawyer for the federal government. My mom was a nurse at UCSF, and they both needed to have internet. And we had it like in our upstairs room because we had a 2-story house. And I remember just like 6-7-year-old me would just mess around with the computer. And I remember my mom getting so mad because she would need the phone at some times. Oh, God. And you probably remember using AIM. AIM was so much fun back in the day. It was. It's nothing like it used to be, obviously, because, of course, bots had to ruin it, like with everything else, like with Yahoo Chat and Hotmail. MSN Chat, not Hotmail. MSN Chat.
Well, again, like those are way back in the day kind of stuff. Like everybody remembers sitting in study hall and using their government issued laptops to argue on the internet about nothing or talk about some crush you had or something like that.
I didn't have a government issue laptop. I remember, I think this was in 6th grade or 7th grade for me. Or no, it was 6th grade. We, at middle school, we had computer class. And I remember us, they taught us how to make our own email address and like how to use PowerPoint. And I remember, I think it was in high school for me. I can't remember if maybe it was where we had typing class and it required us playing Mario Typing, which was really fun.
I've never heard of that.
You've never played Super Mario Typing? That was
never
awesome.
Had that. Yeah, you're lucky. We didn't have that. See, our state thought it'd be a great idea to give us laptops as middle schoolers, and then
we didn't get
away.
that.
Well, they took them away when we went to high school. It was like a great idea. Like train everybody how to use a laptop, then take it away from them as they go into more intense study. So they ended up giving it up and giving the laptops to the high schoolers too. And so everybody had laptops while they were at school. They had to take care of, and of course we were not doing anything we were supposed to be doing on them. So
you're lucky. We didn't get any of that. Like we started learning how to type in elementary school, like in 3rd grade. And we didn't get laptops or anything like that. No, this is considering I went to like an upper middle class, like white majority elementary and middle school, mind you. We didn't get any of that. That's like stuff for Los Angeles school districts where they're getting iPads and laptops. We didn't, not for us.
Well, speaking of things that we didn't have when we were growing up, we did not have in-flight anime. And apparently, we now do have in-flight anime, as brought to us by Crunchyroll and Delta.
I just think it's deflection. I do. I think Faridi wants to be like, oh, don't pay attention to the fact our service isn't working. Don't pay attention to the fact that we aren't doing anything in terms of memberships or improving our benefits. Nah, look over there. Look at that. It's so dumb. I'm sorry. It is dumb. You would think you would just think that like logic would dictate, let's make sure our service is optimal, that it's optimal, it's working properly. We don't have that we're not dealing with any BS. It's being translated correctly, that our members are getting good benefits, and that people are actually coming to our platform, and then go into like expanding it. But no.
Of course,
No.
in-flight anime is another great thing, of course, because as you know, when you're flying around, yeah, it's a new thing. Yeah, well, over here in the West, it's been a sort of a personal choice to have the internet as you're flying, so it really doesn't matter. This is a bit useless. Most people who fly bring their own entertainment with them. The in-flight movie thing really hasn't been a big issue since portable DVD players showed up, and then of course your laptops that were more capable also were able to do that. And as time evolved, your smartphone took over for all that. So, you know, if
Oh
you
my
have a tablet or a
God.
smartphone, this is completely useless. You know.
Yeah, I remember bringing portable DVD players on the airplane. That was good times, man.
Now, Hibiki Gamer says this is getting really worse because of the internet from other countries. Oh, the functionality of Crunchyroll? Is that what we're talking about? Sorry about that. Might be a bit out of sync. Delta used to have great membership perks. Well, I don't know I don't understand what membership is. You're on a plane. What's the member? Do they have a hot tub or something you're going to get into after 10,000 miles?
Well, yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. Like, are you talking about miles? Are you talking about like premium in terms of like first class or what? Or free flights?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not fancy enough. I've only taken like 4 flights in my entire life. I'm a country mouse up here in Maine. I don't go nowhere and got nowhere to be.
Delta, like the times I've
That
taken
guy
Delta,
does.
I've never had complaints. Spirit is the one you don't take. Don't ever take Spirit. That is the
you will be a
worst.
spirit.
You will. Oh my God, those seats were so uncomfortable. Oh my God. I remember when I took Spirit, I've only taken Spirit like I think twice. And it was a round trip. That's when I took Spirit. Oh my God, those seats destroyed my back. They were so uncomfortable. Southwest used to be good, but it's not as good as it used to be.
She says, Leslie says, miles and discounts on first class.
Yeah, I remember Delta used to do it. Delta doesn't do that anymore. I thought Delta still did that, but I guess not.
Nobody can afford to. They barely afford to get the things in the air, let alone try to give you free flights with them. So.
That sucks. Yeah, because I know my dad uses Delta and has Delta membership. And I know he uses his points to fly to and from the East Coast because my dad's side of the family lives in New York and New Jersey. So
you imagine flying places. Who would care to go flying places? Hibiki Gamer asks, Cider, are you excited for Tokusatsu Kamen Rider Z series? I am. Now, the reason being is that it is a neat design. It's pretty inventive, but also it is going to be simul-streamed with an English dub, I want to say. I could be wrong. Could just be subs. That's still not a problem. It'd be simul-streamed to the U.S. I believe this is going to be through the Toei website, YouTube channel. Or it could be the Kamen Rider official YouTube channel that'll be airing it. Maybe over there on X as well, the Kamen Rider and Toei official X.com accounts. Not really sure about how that's going to air, but it'll be in September, so coming right up. And it's the first of its kind to do that. This also, they put a lot of effort into the new Kamen Rider and decided that the best way he could appeal to Americans is if he had a gun. And I'm not even kidding. They just handed the actor a gun. So not even the Kamen Rider himself. Like, oh, the neat armor guy. No. The actual just walk around guy. He has a gun. And the reason why this is funny is because in Japan you're not allowed to just walk around with a gun. That doesn't work. Here, we'll bring up a picture of it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Of course, it's microscopic because the internet's full of ants. Ants and their tiny ant thumbnails. Who doesn't love tiny ant thumbnails, right? Ugh, ants on my internet. You want to make me angry? Just make tiny pictures on the internet. Just make tiny pictures on the internet.
You know what's really making me angry? Is everyone's relying on Grok for fact-checking posts. I'm so tired of it.
There we go.
Use Google or Bing or actually use the Twitter search function. Stop
it takes too
fact-checking Pokes all
long.
the time.
You gotta ask Rock. Rock knows. He'll give you something.
And also, well, Grok's actually inaccurate sometimes.
All
a
the
good
time.
chunk of the time.
Yeah.
This is why you actually use your brain and also do your own due diligence. Stop
They ain't
relying
got
on
time
AI.
for that. Nobody's got time to like know stuff. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
it's worse is when burner accounts are trying to question your credibility. That really frustrates me. Well, that really grinds my gears.
So as you can see, Zetsier, he's private investigator looking fella. The interesting thing about his design, his like civilian design, is that he has a gun. They gave him a gun. As you can see, he has a gun. He's some type of he works for some type of agency, secret agency within Japan. But as you know, you can't just walk around with a gun in Japan. You can't just do that. That's not a thing. They don't have concealed carry in Japan. To my knowledge, unless you are a certain type of police officer, you're not allowed to walk around with a firearm. It's not every cop gets to walk around with the bang bang in their pocket, little cannon in their pocket. So again, I don't know what the goal is with this initially, other than he's like 007 for Kamen Rider stuff. So that's good. In my opinion, anyway, that's good. Kenny Powers says, I think it's a trap. That's a dude. No, it is. It's one of those K-pop looking fellas. A lot of the later Kamen Riders have been really leaning into the K-pop look, and admittedly, they kind of have to. So Hibozo clears this up for us. Only the policemen and Yakuza have guns in Japan, and who else would you expect to have guns but the Yakuza? But obviously, he's not the Yakuza, and in the story, he works for some secret agency that allows him the, liberty to walk around with a gun in broad daylight. I'm sorry. I know it's not something that you here in the United States that we find like hilarious or anything. It is hilarious to me to see a Japanese man that is obviously not a police officer brandishing firearm in broad daylight. It's just things you'd never see in Japanese children's television. I realize Kamen Rider is not for babies, but it's also not Garo for adults. Okay, this is very much your young teens brand, and it's like, hi America, I'm one of you. Look, I have a gun now. I love it. Like Geets, Kamen Rider Geets was all about the guns. This guy's got the actual gun. What are they more afraid of, right? Are they afraid of the Kamen Rider weapons or when he pulls out his pistol?
Oh my God.
When does it get real in this universe? That's what I want to know. Does it get real when he pulls out his sword or when he rolls up with the Glock? Kamen Rider Glocko.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. I have too much fun with this because it was just, they said they wanted to appeal to Americans and they gave him a gun.
Hey, why not?
But
that's the best way, apparently.
Yakuza even owned pro wrestling promotions. Yep, Hulk Hogan probably drank a lot of sake with a lot of Yakuza. He probably drank a lot of sake with a lot of Yakuza. He's like an Agent 47 or 007. Yeah, that's kind of his angle. That's what it appears to be. This actor, by the way, has waited his whole life to be a Kamen Rider. That's been like his singular actor goal, is that he's got like it up on the wall and all that stuff. So yeah, this is a dream come true for him to finally, put on the belt, and it goes across his chest, not his waist. He's the first rider to wear it up on his chest. So, and he's got balls.
That's pretty cool.
Character's got balls. I can't wait for that promotion. Zeets and his balls.
Well, hopefully whoever is doing the localization doesn't do some BS tokusatsu erasure like we saw in Detective Conan with Biz, because they changed I sent this to you too when I covered it on my channel, is that for the latest chapter of Detective Conan manga, they changed a tokusatsu reference into like Gamer Geek. I couldn't believe it. It's just, why would you erase a tokusatsu reference? It doesn't make sense.
Mostly because they probably didn't recognize it as Power Rangers, so they were like, oh no, none of the dumb children watching this are going to know what the hell this means.
No, this is the manga, the Detective Conan manga. They did this.
Right. So that's what I mean. Is it didn't jump out at them as Power Rangers, so they changed it to something else.
Yeah.
That's all. Because again, like we're not dealing with people who honestly want to move this. They're trying to push their own agenda through it.
Well,
But
the thing
speaking-
that sucks though is real quick is and I sent this to you, is that what they did in the fan translation was they had tokusatsu and then they put they did a translation note, which is what you're supposed to do in a manga translation / localization. This, on the other hand, they said, screw you, we're just going to change it. And this is what happens in manga all the time, unfortunately. Anyways.
The only thing you did was send me text about it. I don't have any.
Oh, I didn't send it to you? Oh,
I just
thought
have
I did.
you sending Biz
Oh, I'll have
localizers
to find
apparently
it.
hate Sentai. But that's
I'll
okay.
have to find it. Well,
I wanted to show people.
all right, let's go.
I wanted to show people this because they had a lot of fun with that Godzilla and Friends, and apparently
Oh,
Korea said this was a good idea. So they took the machines from Super Sentai and gave them like, what do they do when they're not busy having battles, and made them. So the whole gist of this entire episode, and I'll save you guys the sitting through all of the Korean, but the gist of this is that Cube Whale is a jackass that keeps like ruining everybody's day. Whenever they're doing anything together, the Cube Whale shows up and just blasts it all apart because it's Cube Whale and it gets delight out of ruining your day. So again, like these cute little animations and things like that, they'll never find it over here into the West because we just don't. Why would children want to watch something like this about cute little square robots having a difficult time with one of their friends who does not know how to not be the spotlight? Those kids are stupid. That's what it is, you know? And that's what they do, is that they pass up on media like this because they don't know how to explain it to the parents. And they're like, well, they're square robots. Why are they square robots? Well, because they are. Even though the kids don't care, they feel they have to explain this stuff to the adults. And it ruins the whole thing for everybody. But I just thought it was really cute that they went out of their way to produce this cute little animation about the Cube Whale being. And at the end of the story is he still doesn't learn his lesson. That's the thing at the end of the story. He obliterates everybody's fun the whole day, and he's still having a great time while they're miserable. So, yeah, but the Teletubbies, right? How can we stick a political agenda into these cute little square robots having a hard time? How do we do that? Oh, we can't. Wow, let's just leave it over there in South Korea then.
Like we would have gotten this. We would have gotten this show like on Nick Jr. What, a decade ago or like 15 years ago?
Well, and again, I mean, they're dealing with over there, like in Japan and Korea, they're trying to encourage their families to grow and stuff. So their children's media is very open-ended. Let's put it that way. And that it's not bad. It's just open-ended. Whereas here we have to have this like, everything is an agenda that teaches you how to be the perfect citizen. If you don't conform, you're one of the bad guys. There always has to be that tilt of, this is the agenda, Johnny. And if you're not in line with the agenda, well, you're one of the bad guys. This doesn't have an agenda. This has a giant whale robot that's ruining everybody's day and having fun doing it. And that's it. There's no Trump bad in the middle of that. And it's hard to stuff it in there. There's no Biden bad in there. There's no way to politically culture war these little robots. And that's why it won't come over here. Now, it sucks. It really sucks. This is why the Power Rangers brand completely evaporated. They couldn't figure out how to turn it into culture war, despite it being rooted in all of that. But,
I mean, we didn't see like culture war stuff in like the new King of the Hill. We had like a generational kind of thing happen. But the way that, and Spencer can vouch for me, the way that King of the Hill season 14 like handled family issues and to an extent there was a little bit of political commentary, but the way it was handled wasn't so in your face. It wasn't so forced. It was really, really good. If you haven't watched King of the Hill season 14, go do it. It's so freaking good. There's a lot of great father-son content in there. It's not like toxic masculinity BS. No. It's very much so focused on Bobby and Hank's relationship. And there's a little bit of like Hank and Good Hank too. There's an episode focused on that too, which is really good as well.
Well, and speaking of toxic male, whatever, Denmark's going to tear down Naked Mermaid because apparently men like it too much.
Apparently, just being a woman is porn. Being a pretty woman is porn.
Yep. If you're a woman, you are porn. That should be. That sounds oddly familiar. There's a group of people who tend to keep their women in burqas that seem to believe the same thing. Weird how that's just happening all over Europe.
And
Weird.
Australia, apparently.
Oh, yeah. It's good old Australia. Hibiki Gamer says, Cider, I've been watching Tokusatsu, Super Sentai, the Gold Knight, Garo, and Kamen Rider. The great selection. Great selection. Ultraman's not bad. The latest one has a lot of cool finishers. So if that's your thing, yeah. Isn't that statue they kept having to repair? One of them, but there's also there's that other one that like the chrome finish has been wore off, or the copper finish has been wore off from people touching the boobs. Yeah, the booba are scary. We've seen this before. Yep, that's exactly the case. They like that. I wonder if they're going to take down that statue of Medusa now, the one that's holding up Perseus's head.
Yeah, but like I've talked about this before, but on Facebook and Instagram, they've taken down fine art that they considered porn. And this is fine art. We're talking like paintings they consider to be porn.
Well,
but dogs are okay.
Well, and again, our good friends down under the National Center for Sexual Exploitation says, this isn't about censorship. It's about protecting women and girls by not promoting games based on sexual torture. And, oh, sorry, I thought this was related to the statue. You had it shared. Anyway, this is what's going on with them. They said this. It's not related to the statue, but I thought it was because it was underneath the statue story. So my bad. But this is unrelated. But likewise, the women who are raising so much heck about that statue are also raising so much heck about games, gamers, you, me, and everybody who seems to enjoy games that maybe have some wiggle and jiggle to them. I'm not talking about the incest games or the games that involve, you know, sexually harming someone. I'm talking about like volleyball games. You know,
it's insane. And then I forgot to send this link, but Belinda Tank Top is calling this the harassment towards her and the collective Shout Karens. They're declaring this Gamergate.
What?
I'm dead serious. I gotta find it. It is just. It is.
I did the Gamergate X thing as a joke, man.
Here it is. She said, "Let me send this to you in the chat." She said that this is Gamergate on steroids.
This is just a joke, man. That wasn't supposed to be taken seriously. What? This is crazy.
She said the article is so funny. I was dying when I read this.
Gamergate on steroids, abuse of a small all-women team. Oh, yes. They're just this fledgling little organization, those collective Shout women, what with all their army of government connections. Yeah, so terrible. They say it's Gamergate returns. Oh, no. Who could believe such a terrible thing? It says Online Hate Prevention Institute. Collective Shout is a registered Australian charity that campaigns against the objectification of women and the sexualization of girls. In early July, Collective Shout announced that they had found about 500 games on popular games platforms like Steam and itch.io, which featured child exploitation, rape, or incest. This is not just a case of adult content. Many of the games were so offensive to common standards of decency in Australia that they would likely be refused classification, making their sale criminal. Criminal. Having previously referred a game to the classification board and had its sale in Australia deemed illegal, With the new information of a much wider and systemic problem, Collective Shout published an open letter to payment processing companies, including MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, and others. Payment processing companies, card networks, and banks have rules prohibiting the use of their services for certain kinds of transactions. So this rose up to write up about how they went in and spooked these payment processors that then used these women's complaints to take things that were going to be problems for the UK censorship thing, right? You see that happening right now, and Europe's trying to do it. So the payment processors took advantage of Collective Shout's timing and said, sure, we'll ban all this stuff, saving themselves an inquiry over with the UK and EU about why they're allowing such things to be on the internet, because, ta-da, the Safety Act requires those things to be sheltered. So the next step, obviously, is to go to the payment processors and say, why are you letting these things to be sold? The payment processors got ahead of all that and allowed Collective Shout to take the brunt of the force on this, not them. You see what they did there? They would have had to have done this ban anyway, because the UK and EU. But because they didn't have to do that because of them, because Collective Shout came through and said, hold on, we'll take the brunt of all of that. And they kicked off this whole thing. So that's what we're looking at here. And of course, you know, they have a huge problem with anything on the internet that isn't like completely and entirely dedicated to their belief systems. They put out a statement here about Eve. Did you see this about Eve yet?
Yeah, I saw that.
So they've got Eve here, and of course she's wearing, I believe, the maid outfit. I think that's what she's wearing. And it says here, many of these games also involve misogyny. No, not misogyny. And over-sexualization and objectification of women. Female characters are often depicted as weak. I don't think that's how people would classify Eve, that's for sure. They wear revealing clothing. Oh, God, they got the titties out! Or appear naked and are cast as negative figures such as prostitutes. Some games even encourage the exploitation and abuse of women to unlock rewards and boost players' abilities. Wow. See, I don't remember any of that being in Stellar Blade, but you know what? Whatever. I don't know why they chose Eve to make this statement, because none of what is here applies to, well, the over-sexualization, sure, but what's over? It's a polygonal character. It's not like she's going to go home and be like, I have second thoughts about wearing a skin-tight suit that makes my butt cheeks look like candy. No, that's not, it's not real, guys. There's no, like, end of the day for Eve. When you shut off the video game, Eve goes away. There's no more Eve until you turn the video game back on. It's crazy, I know. Pretty crazy.
It is crazy. These people are nuts. But something that I found in the QRTs for the Gamergate one, I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see this tweet, because this is insane. Hold on, let me share this.
They ended up admitting that they don't want women walking around with shirts that sexualize themselves. Okay, so like if you're walking around with a shirt that has like a keyboard thing that says "push my buttons" and it's over your chest, they want that banned. So it's not even about you having your own private expression as a woman anymore. They've gone like full turbo burqa squad. You're not allowed to do nothing. You show your face, you're evil.
What's funny about the keyboard shirt is, like, and I said this in response to it, it's like, dude, guys would wear that shirt. And I even had guys in my comment sections like, yeah, I would wear that shirt too. But this is what this tweet said. Melissa, I checked the DOJ's FARA base, the Online Hate Prevention Institute, as well as apparently Collective Shout. I'm trying to find it in the database, but I wish they would have posted the image of this, is not registered either. That makes 2 Australian NGOs targeting the U.S. market without filing under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Care to explain why neither Collective Shout nor the OHPI is registered before trying to influence U.S. commerce and speech? That is wild.
They don't care.
What they're doing is illegal. What they were already doing is illegal, but like this makes it even more illegal. So essentially, they're being terrorists for what that is essentially what they're doing. I thought this was wild.
Well, Hibozo, I have to point out
And
about
here's
Eve.
But
I have to point
hold
out
on,
about
this
Eve.
is how it
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, it defines foreign principle to include not only foreign governments, but also foreign persons and foreign organizations of any kind. There's no requirement for government funding. And if a foreign NGO like Collective Shout or OPHI engages in political activities or tries to influence U.S. public opinion, policy, or commerce at the direction of its leadership overseas, it must register. Their campaign to pressure Visa, MasterCard, and U.S. platforms to remove games is exactly the type of activity FAR was written to cover. So, yeah, what they're doing, and especially since Visa and MasterCard is going along with their Collective Shout's whims, what they're doing is extremely illegal, especially since they're not registered.
What a surprise.
So yeah, Visa and MasterCard essentially need to reverse their decisions since they're not registered.
Well, and they have the opportunity now to do that thanks to President Trump. He went out and signed an executive order over the weekend or Friday that said, BT Dubs, you can't debank people because you don't like what they're doing. If it's legal, you have to provide banking to them. If it is not legal, then you don't. It's very simple. It also outlined that this risk to the brand that they've been talking about over there in Japan. You remember they were saying that it was risky for their brand to continue supporting these archive sites that have stuff from before Japan's entertainment reforms. So the executive order said, nope, can't do that either. No more of that. So it looks like it's over. I don't think they can get out from underneath this. Granted, it's an executive order. It's not law. But again, if Congress moves on this and makes it law, then ta-da, in the U.S., you cannot move forward with payment processors shutting down your ability to do business. So I think it's good, honestly, to see that done. Do I think it's heavy-handed? No. Because someone has to come through and tell these corporations that they don't make law. If they want to influence law, well, we have lobbyists for that. As much as we hate them and don't want them around, we still have them. They're like fleas or something. They just won't go away. So Visa and MasterCard need to get their lobbyists going if they don't want this stuff to be as binding as the executive order makes it. So for the time being, as far as it's concerned in the United States, it is very illegal for these payment processors to step in and say, you're done. So, I mean, you could give him credit on this at least he came through. You know, this mainly is targeted for helping people like Alex Jones, for instance, who went through the debanking. There were several other people who were less notable that also went through this, but I think I want to say like Milo Yiannopoulos had his banking taken away from him or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Did Alex Jones get his taken away too?
Yeah, I want to say that he got debanked, and that was part of his problem. But
I don't
again,
know if Farrakhan got debanked either. I know.
Right.
I think Alex Jones did though. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's taking some teeth out of lawfare. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Well, out of like payment fare, I guess. I don't know. Warfare through the payment processors. That's 6th generation warfare or something. Richard says Visa and MasterCard are internationals. Right. And that's how Melinda Tanktop and her group Collective Shout influenced Visa globally, was by taking Australia's laws to them and saying, and them going, oh, okay, that's in Australia. Well, convenient enough. And they, as I said earlier, they jumped at it in order to avoid being the ones that had to do this themselves when the UK blocks came through. Now, because again, the US gets to dictate certain laws and things like that. People, it's one of those things where because of the US's hegemony, it's difficult to tell us no. So when Trump says, hey, international payment processors, you can't block people from making transactions, well, it's a bit of a pain in the ass for them to go through and find every US transaction and make sure that that's working for every country it's coming and going to. So odds are they're not going to bother, and they're just going to make sure that you go back to being able to buy what's legal to purchase that they can't interfere with. So I expect in the next few days to weeks, you'll probably get yet another update to their policy that says, whoops, all that stuff we said we can't support anymore. It turns out we can. So don't worry, your Mortal Kombats, your SpongeBobs, none of that's going nowhere. But you wait. You know, like we'll get you next time. You know, see, they want to get rid of it because the governments in Europe are going to get rid of it. China's banned a lot of that stuff, and so that's they can't bring themselves into alignment with their oh so precious authoritarian regimes unless they, you know, make themselves an authoritarian regime.
Yeah. Well, speaking of China, I don't know if you and we were talking about the age verification laws. Well, age verification is coming to TikTok, and it's not just the UK and EU; it's coming to the US as well.
Yeah.
And that one is a little scary because theirs is very scary because they're requiring credit card or a picture of your government ID and a selfie.
How could that go wrong, right?
Yeah, someone said to me, asked me, it's like, are you sure you're not overreacting because of, you know, US propaganda against China? I'm like, dude, the CCP owns a stake in TikTok. I'm not like, do you really want the CCP to have your ID and or your credit card? Like, that is a bad idea.
Yeah, well, you know, we had that with that T app, remember?
Yeah.
Where they got everybody's information and where they are, and they found that secret U.S. military base because of it.
Oh my God, that's not a good idea to give China anything else. I don't understand why people even use that app.
That's a woman for you.
People are dumb for using that app. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it, Ben. Couldn't have said it better myself, Ben. Oh, Ben Grimm. Letting us know the truth of those women folk. But yeah, so look forward to that. If you're a TikTok user, you're going to have to let everybody know that you're one of the cool TikTok users that doesn't have a problem surrendering their identity. Same thing's going to happen to you over on Red Note too, so don't bother. You're not going to get anywhere. There's also another neat function to TikTok going around right now. They're using AI to automatically like restrict access to the app if they think that you're not 18, similar to how YouTube is going around trying to find accounts that aren't 18. So, and if, by the way, if you can't verify that you're over 18, that 10.5 million follower or whatever, you know, stat you got there, that's going to get deleted. That's just going to get deleted.
Well, something that's going on, I think it's AI, YouTube's AI is just randomly terminating accounts for no reason.
But I can't say that it's no reason because it's going through and like not finding the proper age verification is what it's doing. Now, it could very well belong to an adult, right? But that adult looks at, like, I watch a lot of Power Rangers media. I just like it. I watch a lot of Super Sentai media. I just like it. I watch a lot of, because of Jacob, I watch a lot of Nickelodeon programming from the 90s. That stuff ends up in front of me a lot because it comes through my recommendations. So what's YouTube going to think of me? I guess I need to start watching more documentaries on like insect sex and like all of these like war documentary footages. What do adults watch? What do adults watch?
No, what I'm saying is, like, I've been seeing YouTube content creators saying that they're not getting any notifications. Their channel is just getting terminated. There's no copyright strikes or anything. It is the weirdest thing.
Damn.
It's not like my situation where there's this, where a fraudulent, or I should say a company that is notorious for filing false copyright strikes, including against Toei's Twitter account for their own property. It's nothing like that. No, it's just randomly terminating accounts for no reason.
It seems like it probably is on a mission to, I don't know, sort out adults from children. And of course, with any of these implementations, there's always the AI going awry, taking too many like liberties in its processes, as always, because we end up with this with the copyright system. It's constantly these auto copyright strikes and all this stuff, and where the original creator doesn't have a problem with anyone reusing it. So it's another thing that's just going to keep piling up until somebody comes through and manually fixes this like a human has to, because we're relying too heavy on the machine. AI is still too experimental yet. Context is great, but it can't understand, abstract thinking, if you understand what I mean about that one. So the human being can look at a cloud and attribute shape to it, attribute meaning to something that otherwise would not have meaning other than its obvious, immediate purpose, like a screwdriver, for instance. And the AI can't think like that yet. So when you're going out there and you're trying to find all this abstract information about how to build a dollhouse, well, ta-da, YouTube has decided, well, you're a child, no more account for you. And
no, but here's the other thing though. YouTube's copyright system has been a problem for a really long time.
Sure.
And the thing is that YouTube shouldn't even be doing this AI crap for the copyright system until the copyright system has had like a full overhaul. That's the problem in terms of the copyright system.
I don't even think they know how to do that anymore, to be honest with you. I think Susan Wachowski took the secret to the YouTube Skynet to hell with her. So there's no way anybody's ever going to know. Yeah, my account is older than 18. Yeah, well, this is the trick, right? Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to say, like, this person didn't buy this older account and assume that you're the right age? Are they going to trust you? This is the thing. I don't believe this AI thing is going to help much anything. They're going to still come through and make you have to send your picture in and things like that, because this is not the control mechanism that the global government wants. They want you to surrender your face to them all the time because it's a form of submission. The AI figuring out how old you are doesn't involve anybody having to submit. And then the big corporations, they hate that. They want you in those pods. They want you eating those bugs. They want you happy about it. You better be happy.
No, what's crazy is the collective shout Karens in terms of like facial appearance wise. They think like a grown-ass woman that has a childlike appearance and they're considered a child. Like you have, I'm not just talking about collective shout Karens. This has been happening for a long time as well. Best example is Nintendo. This is why Pokemon games, for example, are censored, because you can't have characters that have a childlike appearance wear a bikini. They have to be censored because it'd be child exploitation. It is the weirdest thing. I just don't understand it. And it also makes me question, like, what is in your hard drive?
Yeah. So Kirby asked, are the British still around? I don't know. We hear word that that's still a place, but I'm not so sure about it. It sounds all very fictional to me these days. Very fake place. But speaking of things that'll make your head turn, we do have this story from Japan about McDonald's. Now, if you don't know, McDonald's currently has a bunch of Pokemon cards that you can collect that are exclusively marked for Japan's McDonald's outlets. However, you have to order a child's meal in order to get them. Vietnamese and Chinese scalpers have been purchasing thousands of dollars worth of meals in order to get these cards, in order to put them up for sale over on eBay for around $700 or so. As you can see right here, this is what the cards look like. And, as you can see, the characters are interacting with McDonald's products. So there's Pikachu about to eat a cheeseburger as big as Pikachu, as a Pikachu would, It also raises the question, are Pokemon cannibals? Because, there's no cows. So that's a milk tank that old Pikachu is about to bite into.
I mean, there's Garch.
Well, McPokeys?
Well, there's who was it? Aerodactyl was a carnivore. So
yeah, right. How does that work? Right? Yeah. The AI is really dangerous. You're right, and there'll be AI replications of these undoubtedly. They can't help themselves out there. But yes, Pokemon are cannibals. The food is made from Pokemon. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. The Pikachu Soylent Green is people memes to come out. But as you can see right here, these things are in high demand. A lot of people want to go out there and get their hands on these limited edition Pokemon interacting with McDonald's products from Japan. And of course, the scalpers took advantage of this and ordered thousands of dollars of food and just obliterated Japan with it. So
it should be noted the scalpers were Chinese and Vietnamese.
That's right. Yep. And, the people that are usually causing a great bit of trouble in Japan's markets. You know, who
And
else
there
would
was
you-
like, and from what I saw, there were users like or footage of like at least a Chinese woman causing a scene. And of course, there was footage of one of the scalpers, a Chinese scalper, like bragging about it. Like, come on, stop bragging about this stuff. This is how you get caught doing.
Well,
really stupid
they don't
crap.
care because the worst that happens to them is they get deported. You know, they're not in. They don't care. They're not worried about any part of it at all. That's the hardest thing about this whole situation is that when it comes down to punishing these people, there's really not much you can do. You can hit them with excessive littering. That's about it. That's all they've done is just
They
litter.
wasted all that food. Japanese kids were crying.
Yep.
Because they didn't get any of their stuff or any of the Pokemon cards. I feel so bad. Like, that isn't fair.
So, you know, the situation is that as long as these things are being collected by adults, adults are going to go and exploit it. And feel however you do about Pokemon card collecting. I don't poo-poo anybody for doing this stuff or playing the game or whatever. It's not a problem. But when you reach a level that you're paying thousands of dollars in order to like gain a collection of limited edition Pokemon cards, I don't know, man. I don't know. It might be a little. It might be time to just hang it up, take a break, breathe. I don't know.
The question
I'm not a collector. That's the thing. I'm not a collector, so I don't understand the obsession with I have to have that thing that's over there, that's that thing, and not like that thing over here that's closer and not at all as difficult to come across. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm not that guy.
The question is, though, is this as bad as what happened with the Tickle Me Elmo when the parents were fighting over it?
Could be that, or those Lulubelle things, no, Lalaboo, whatever they are, the demon dolls.
Oh, those things, I don't understand the thing with those. Those things are just, they're weird. I collect plushies, obviously, and I want to get back into collecting figures. But the thing is, because we're in the US and people aren't fighting over them, and I could get them for cheap at like Ross or Marshalls and TJ Maxx, I don't have to deal with that. And plus, I can always import them online if I have to. But I'm broke right now, so I can't do that.
They're little annoying dolls. You don't need them.
Those dolls are dumb. I just don't understand the obsession with them.
Exactly. But we did have a question here from Vicky Gamer. He says, Cider, have you watched Uber Hacks or Nova play a game by talking AI name Miles? I'm not familiar with that one, but over on Dexerto, they did show a YouTuber that has modded Red Dead Redemption to allow them to become a player character within the game. But watch this.
You know look at that effect. Look. I'm in Red Dead in Valentine at the bar.
That?
Huh?
By whale oil.
Oh! Whoa! What do we get into tonight? He knows. He knows.
Blurbs. Get down, you're ruining the shot.
Ah! Wow! Wait, why am I a kid? You could stop. I'm good. If I could like teleport in, it'd be better. I just love this effect. You guys want me to just take a shit? Yeah, we're in the outhouse. This is really fucking weird. No, I've never ridden in a carriage. Okay, you ever heard of a Twitch chat?
Only Twitch I know is my Uncle Joe's.
So there you go. I find this to be pretty neato bandito because I've been worried about that Ready Player One where you put your stupid goggles on and you run your infinite treadmill. This is way better in my opinion. You're the dude in the game and you're just doing things and you don't have to wear your goofy headset while you're doing it or whatever. I think that's perfect. So I can't wait for this to be like a thing that they start doing with horror games. That'll be even funnier. That you have to watch the television as you're interacting with the environment and then something jumps out and scares you and somebody falls through a third story window. It's gonna be great.
Now, what would be cooler is if we had a Shangri-La Frontier situation where you put on a VR headset, which is kind of like a Sword Art Online situation, and you interact with NPCs, interact with the world, and it feels more real. Like that, when we get to that level of insanity, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I want to make the simulations on the fly as well. Yeah, well, again, we've got that AI game generator that's going on pretty well right now. Remember, we saw that last week, or the week before last. We were showing off that stuff. You could interact in an environment that was pretty much like GTA. The AI just invented it out of a text prompt. So it's coming. It'll be there very soon. And we already heard about WB and the others going on and making apps that they're going to have you creating AI TV shows and clips inside of with their licensed characters. So, ta-da! Just what I predicted 3 years ago is going to happen. That's my favorite part about this whole like 2025 situation is that what we're looking at here with like this guy playing video games like this was stuff that you could like green screen yourself into years ago. And you just, like, oh, I'm in the game, guys. Look, I'm in the game. But this guy's just in front of a green screen, right? Well, that's not the case right now. The way that this guy is worked into the game, he's actually part of the environment. Like he showed himself in the beginning, shoving over the guy at the bar. He's talking just genuinely to the guy at the end there about his grandpappy's Twitch, you know? So, I don't know. I'm an old man, and I find this exciting, I guess. I've never seen anything like it before, and it really makes me happy because I don't want people running around with the stupid Meta glasses on all the time.
Oh, that was very annoying. That and the Google glasses, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that, well, like, and you got your Apple Vision that makes you look like a skier, but you're not skiing.
Well, with Shangri-La Frontier and also with Sword Art Online, it was basically like a visor kind of. It's a visor kind of thing that you just put over your eyes and you just lay down in your bed, and then it just teleports you into the situation.
Yeah, your brain waves, like align with it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that is. Like that's what I'm thinking that the future is going to be in terms of like VR gaming.
So, if you don't know. There was a big announcement for Power Rangers over the weekend. There was, or last week or something. I don't know. Somebody was very excited about Power Rangers. So the situation as it is unfolding, though, is the Power Rangers are coming to Fortnite, and they made a really cool trailer that kicks the ass of anything that Hasbro's doing right now. Most likely kick the ass of Paramount's movie creation and the Disney Plus one too. So we're just gonna turn the volume down on this one first, because I don't want to blow your eardrums, but we'll just watch this.
When the bugs came, everything we knew was taken from us.
It's like the Terminator, but with bugs.
Hope faded faster than we could fight back. We thought it was the end of times.
But it wasn't.
It's morphin' time.
It's Morbin time. Oh, wait, no. There you go. And, of course, this is undoubtedly better than anything Hasbro has put together. The suits are more accurate, too, by the way.
It is.
There you go. They could have just done this in 2017. This isn't new. Mm-hmm. This isn't like only 2025 can do this. They could have done this in 2017, but they didn't. They were just like, nah. We're going to put Bryan Cranston in a wall. And splat. This is actually a guy in a costume. They built a Megazord suit for the Shock and Awe trailer. Just so you know, it was confirmed by the director that this is, in fact, a dude in a suit. That's a dude in a suit right there. Yep. So again, Mighty Morphin. What's that? Go ahead.
It's crazy that like out of all things to do a good Power Rangers, it's Fortnite.
Well, of course. I mean, they went and made their own suits, their own bad guys, and they made their own Megazord costume, and it's better than what they did for the Netflix show. What a surprise. What a surprise. And again, Mighty Morphin is always going to be the thing because 1993 and those first 22 episodes are all anybody cares about. I'm surprised the White Ranger found his way into this collaboration.
So sad and so frustrating. Like, we can't get any in space. We can't get any Zeo. We can't get any SPD or Time Force.
Nope. So that again, it's not necessarily about the Power Rangers themselves. It's just about the brand recognition at this point. But again, they did a better job in presenting all of this anyway, because the Power Rangers, as far as like the Fortnite situation is concerned, it's one of those things where people who want to like live the moment again, to go back to like the exciting, you know, youthful part of their lives, they can go back through it and live it again with the Fortnite characters and stuff. It's like most of the other collaborations they have. It's meant to attract people who are like very big fans of this stuff, and they'll spend money on having these Power Ranger skins. This is one of the loading screens, by the way, done by Dan Mora. He's a very popular Power Rangers comic book artist. And so while you're waiting for your Fortnite match to match, you have good old Tommy and a bunch of Fortnite characters leaping at your face. I don't know. I think we're reaching a point where people are right now. Most people under 35 don't have any connection to Mighty Morphin whatsoever. Like, there's no. They came up way after it. Their first Power Rangers was way after that point. Like I've been hearing from people that came on during the Disney era, and while they don't hate Mighty Morphin, they're learning to hate it because of this. So
something I really wish would happen is, and I've talked about before, is when Power Rangers 2017 came out, like leading up to it, what Twitch did was they had a Power Rangers marathon, and what they did was they streamed every season of Power Rangers, starting from Mighty Morphin, like all the way up to Ninja Steel. And it was so much fun. They did like a new season. I think it was it every week or every day? I think it was every week leading up to it. It was just so much fun just watching a new season with everyone and just being reminded on like why people love that season. And there were some seasons that I've never watched before that I got to watch for the first time. Some of the Disney era seasons that I never watched before, because I stopped watching, I think, after In Space. And I really liked him. I really liked RPM. I really liked Time Force. I really liked SPD. And I think that's what, if Power Rangers wants to get a new audience, that's what they need to do, is just stream it on like Twitch. Stream it on, well, they have it streamed on Pluto TV. Like you can watch every season on Pluto TV. Just promote it. Just stream every season. The thing that's why I like it, why I say Twitch is better, is that it's fun to have the chat room and like chat with people about the show and like have memes and copy pastas. And it's just a different experience when you're watching it with other people on Twitch.
Well, you know, I don't know much about it because I'm not a Twitch guy, to be honest with you. It's just, I don't hate it. It's just one of those things.
Or heck, do a live stream on YouTube with the chat.
Well, and speaking of enjoying things with your friends, though, over in Japan, there is a Super Sentai 50-year exhibition going on where they're showing off all 50 teams, or 49 teams, of Super Sentai heroes. These are just mannequins, of course. As you can see, they're not moving, but they are arranged here. You know, I made the joke that the Terracotta Warriors have nothing on my squad. And, this, of course, is displaying all the heroes here. You might recognize some, you might not recognize many, but as you know, the Power Rangers brand went on for 30 years. Super Sentai has been going on for 50 years now. 50 years. They put together a trailer to welcome people in and advertise what was going on, and here it is.
50年魂をつなぎ続けた戦士たちがいる全戦隊集結5レンジャーから50ジャーまで500点の展示で送る歴史の集大成ゼスーパー戦隊展8月8日より東京ドームシティプリズムホールにて開催
And then this is the open wide version of the whole display. So there's other things too. You can go and look at the giant robots and whatnot, but this is the room that has all of the suits in there you can come and look at. And of course, Gozuger, the 49th team, excuse me, the 50th team and the 49th series are at the center of this. And a lot of the suit actors, a lot of the face actors that played the people outside of the suits have been going to the display and, you know, posing with their respective characters. It's been pretty, I don't know. I wouldn't say emotional, but it's one of those things where when you're standing there and you're just looking at all of it, you know, I'm not standing there, when you're just sort of appreciating all of it, just in how enormous all of it is right in front of you. And these are just the heroes, not the monsters that they took down, not the villains that they were pitted against. These are just the heroes. And it's pretty awesome to see all.
It is really cool to see like everything in the same room.
Well, and you know, 50 years of it. And somehow Power Rangers can't make it 30 years. Just couldn't keep it together. So I don't know. It's a different world, I guess. Speaking of
it just shows you how much they care about Japanese content.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that going around, like passion. How about that? Passion for your work, appreciation for the milestones that you've crossed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Is it basement of Tokyo Dome? I'm not sure where it's located because I don't read Japanese kanji and it's not something that's going around the American side, so I don't know. Nobody's said like where it is exactly. It's just the All Sentai exhibition. I assume it's somewhere in Tokyo, as I can't imagine they would put it anywhere else, but I don't know. I don't know where the birthplace of Sentai like is like, you know, I know where they started filming it, but I don't know where like the idea of it got wrote down on a napkin, you know, the ceremonial beginning of it. But yeah, people still believe Fortnite can save franchises. In reality, they can't. No, I don't think they can, but they definitely lifted the bar for what Hasbro was hoping to accomplish. I'm sure the guys that were working on that Disney Plus series saw that Fortnite trailer and went, God damn it! And
hey, I mean, people said Funko was going to save franchises. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And now look, where's Funko now? They're in
a landfill. Yeah.
Even though they have Loungefly, which Loungefly is still pretty popular.
Oh, okay, so this is a room full of horror for you, Richard. Okay, sorry about that. An army of evil mannequins that are now armored. But like we were talking about with this whole celebration of Japanese media and having a love for it, apparently the Gundam manga publisher Kadokawa is now looking overseas for talent as Japan's population crisis has forced their hand.
I mean, we've already kind of seen it with the rise of Manga Plus creators.
Just in time. Hi, Spencer. You're just in time.
Yay!
Hold on, everybody. How's it going? Long time no see. What are we talking about today?
It was your article. We just brought this up right here. The manga publisher Kadokawa now recruiting overseas due to Japan's population crisis.
Man, hopefully at some point we'll talk King of the Hill, because I've been wanting to talk with you about season 14 for a minute.
We'll try to make a full stream of that, because I think you and I could have way too much to say for like a regular
we need to figure out when we're gonna have like a full on like King of the Hill and maybe even South Park session too.
Oh, I have not watched any of the new South Park. I watched the first one, so I've heard. I'll get to it. I just have no rush to watch it.
But yeah, King of the Hill, we need to figure out set a date and time for a King of the Hill stream for sure.
Definitely. It's good, guys. Like, it's very, very fucking good.
Don't listen to the haters. It is so worth the watch. I mean, I binged it in one night, or one sitting, and that's saying a lot from me in terms of like Western content.
Yeah, no, I didn't binge it all in one setting because I had way too much stuff to do, but I watched it over like a week, and it was fantastic. Would do it again.
But yeah, let's get into this Gundam article. I was right as you were coming in. What I was saying is that this is kind of nothing new. Kadokawa is jumping into the party a little bit later because we are already seeing it with Shueisha with the Manga Plus creators.
Yeah.
With English and Spanish. Also, we have I don't know if it was Shueisha that did it, But there's been some French manga artists that have that Japan has brought in as well. I can't remember this. There's been at least 2. Radiant, I know, was one of them, and then there's like at least 2 others, I think, as well that that Japan has serialized. So like that's why I'm like, this isn't new at all.
Okay, so this isn't new, but let's get into this because this is pretty significant, if not, new. So what Nerdigans is saying is right. Is over the past few years, we have seen a lot of, Japanese companies, whether they be video game developers or manga publishers or anime studios, reaching out and tapping international talent, right? Like overseas talent from the West, from Taiwan, from any other place. And a lot of that is because as the folks at Katakawa, we'll get into, the folks at Katakawa get into, as we all know, as Cider covers all the time, like perfectly so, like he's an excellent source for this, guys. Japan's in a giant population crisis. Like they are, honestly, in ecological terms, they're on the path to extinction. Like I'm not even joking. They have a bunch of old people and dwindling amounts of young people, and the young people are not having kids at all. So with that, a lot of these companies are going, if we want to survive, like it's not even a cultural thing, right? Like, oh, I want to be more, PC or anything like that. It's literally a case of, if we want to survive as a company, we need to start looking elsewhere. And it's partially looking for talent, but it's also looking for those audiences, right? Or looking to expand your presence in these other countries. So in the case of Katakawa, what's going on with them is, so recently, or not recently, but late last year, so from October of last year to March of this year, they held a contest called the Wordless Manga Contest. And it was pretty much as simple as it sounds. People, it was open to anybody across the world. Anybody could enter. All you had to do was submit either an original work of manga or a themed work after a theme that they presented, which this year was Don Quixote. And a manga with no words, obviously, so that it can transcend barriers. We can all understand images. And from there, they were picking, I think, like 8 winners. Yeah, 8 winners, 4 from each category of themed manga and original manga. Those 8 creators all got cash prizes, and they'll now be working with Katakawa to work either on their own original work or on staff on a published manga that's actively being worked on right now. So it's a big opportunity for them. There were some pretty cool works, honestly, that got produced out of this. All of the winning entries are available to check out on their website. I have a bunch of links to it in this article if you go to Bounding and check it out. They're not bad. Like this, you can see what did I, okay, I had to use chart because that's what everybody's going to see. But there is there's an image, I think the next one down, of the American submission, which was this very cartoony, how do I put this? Yeah, that one. See, so that was the American entry, and you've got your big booba elf and your plucky little guy, and the entire. It's a very cute story about them. Oh, I'm an adventurer. Let's team up, and they're really doing it for super selfish purposes on their own end. But it's a cute little 4-page story. They're not very long. So these are they're all pretty great, and Katakawa is going to work with them. But what they explained, so a couple days ago, the main staff in charge of coordinating all this overseas international manga stuff, they gave an interview to a Japanese news outlet, and they were kind of talking about, this is why we're doing the contest, yada, yada, yada. And right, like Cider and Nerdigans and I have all hit, a big part of it is we don't have the creators anymore. There's just nobody able to create, and there's nobody to, advertise to. There's no market anymore. There's that. And one of the reasons they said that they wanted to expand outwards was we don't have a way to A, connect with younger audiences, or B, really know how to connect with those younger audiences, right? So that's why they're looking outwards to go, okay, Canadian artist who won our contest, you're going to come work with us. Tell us what it help us connect with the youth and or the youth, as in they're all like 19, 20, something around there. So it's I think it's personally like a very interesting move. I'm always very open for these, what do you call it, like exhibition style, like not, I don't want to say a contest, but I guess they are contests where people open submission things, like we're Marvel Comics, submit a thing, we'll see what happens, maybe you'll get it. Like anything that lowers those barriers to entry, or at least those barriers to opportunity, I'm all about that. However, I am wondering how this is going to impact the medium as a whole going forward, because one of the things that Kadokawa said was, manga doesn't have to like yes, these new creators aren't from Japan, but we don't necessarily need a manga to like come from Japan. And that's super interesting to me, because I know that they're like the topic of like, what is manga? Is it a style? Is it a thing? It's so all over the place, because in reality, manga is just a term for Japanese comics, just like bande dessinées are the French term for French comics, right? They all mean the same thing, but because there's a certain style to them, we can all lump them into a genre. But Nerdigans, this is something I've pondered a long time, and this is the debate I see going around, which is what, like, I want to get your thoughts on it. What do you think about this idea of manga now being produced elsewhere, I guess? So like do you think we lose something, or do you think there's nothing really to say about tapping other talents who might do like a manga style to do a manga, right?
I think it just depends on the style of the art, because there's a difference between, like, say, one's the best example of this, because we have the One Punch Man webcomic, and then we have the One Punch Man manga, and both of them come out of Japan. And the One Punch Man webcomic, and also Mob Psycho 100 is technically a webcomic more so than a manga. That style is very rough, but like still, there's, especially with the One Punch Man webcomic, I'm gonna say right now, like that art still has like a lot of heart in it. Like every time I read the One Punch Man webcomic, and a lot more. Well, no, especially now compared to like when he started it.
All I'm
but
saying
like, let me get to this real quick. Is that a lot more people now, even though the Murata's art is great, a lot more One Punch Man fans now have gravitated to the webcomic more. They love it. And I feel like it just, again, depends on the art and it depends on the writing. I don't think it has to come from Japan, but I think it all depends on the art and the writing, at least for me. Because there's a distinct style. Yeah. Another example is Kaiju number 8, because this is how I have an art spectrum. There's like one's webcomic art style, there's Murata's manga, and then there's Kaiju number 8, which is like something in between, where it feels like it's a little rough, like one's webcomic art style, but there's still like that little bit of sophistication in terms of like line work and shading that you see in Murata's art style, if that makes sense. So like it's still enough to where it qualifies as a manga. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make. I guess Cider gets it. I was gonna say for me that doesn't. I don't get what you're saying, because just because it's a webcomic to me doesn't mean it wasn't like a manga. Like to me, that's a web manga over a web comic. Web comic to me just means any comic that's published on the internet, right? That could be your 4-panel bullshits from back in the day, like Penny Arcade or Control Alt Delete. That could be your sprite comics like Bob and George. That could be what is it? Webtoons. It could be any of this stuff. So like to me, that's like web manga. And then my only pushback on what you're saying is like, I know what you're saying about like, oh, there's a lot of passion going into one's art for the One Punch Man manga, or I mean web manga, whatever. I know you're saying that because you can see that he's passionate about it and he's getting better, but I don't want to, like, let's be real, guys. It's still just doodles. Like, it's still not fantastic. I don't want to go, oh, you can see all the passion and the true cut of his craft in that drawing, because it's still just, circle, line, dot. It's like, very much, draw it on a napkin.
I do want to point this out, though, is that compared to, like, say, a decade ago, the majority of manga has transitioned into digital. So you have to make that distinction between, like, a web comic and a web manga now. That's what it feels like to me.
I don't think, because to me, there's digital editions of things, right? And that's your what you get on Viz or Manga Plus or Marvel Unlimited or does DC even have one anymore? They tried like 3 different times and they all failed.
I think didn't they merge with Webtoon? I know they merged with Webtoon, but I don't know if
I know they
DC
do
Comics
I know they're doing stuff with Webtoons, like they have like a Batman comic or something, so they have like an official partnership. But I mean for like reading their back library. Remember, because there used to be like DC Infinite, and then that got canned, and I don't know if they ever came back with anything. And then like Comixology exploded. But that's all aside the point. To me, it comes down to what is the primary publishing method for this given art, right? So like the One Punch Man manga by Murata, right? That is published on paper, like that's the main way, and then they also offer it online. For the web manga, that is primarily online. Like he started it like going online, and now do they even collect it?
I think it does have
like maybe one collection.
I don't know, actually. I know.
Yeah, right. Like
yeah. Hold on. Let me see if it has volumes, because I don't think it does.
Yeah, I have no idea, but that's the distinction for me. But while you look that up, so I wanted to get that from the manga angle. Now I'm going to throw it over to Cider. Cider, from the cultural angle, like what does this mean to you? Like you're more plugged into this than I am. What are your thoughts? I'm sure you have a bazillion and 4 on it.
Well, and again, Alpha Omega is talking about this. Made in Japan, made by Japanese equals manga. It's one of those things. Like I tried to make a manga, and I came to the same realization. It's an imitation. The best I can do is imitate it. It's a spiritual thing that separates it. And again, it's not that hard to draw and perform in the manga standard, but it's one of those things that a manga from Japan when you see it. And there's very good imitations, don't get me wrong, but a manga from Japan from one outside of that place. And it's just one of those things that they'll probably end up having to come up with like a gaijin manga or something like that in order to draw the delineation. The other part to this is Alpha points out it means more Chinese, Indonesian, and Vietnamese labor can come through, and they don't have to pay the wages to the natives. So again, it keeps the labor of the animators, keeps the labor of the creators down because
there's also just nobody to hire.
So
that's just saying. It's like there's no even in the animation studios, they're going, we're hiring overseas now because there's just nobody here.
Exactly. I'm not saying that they sat down like Google and went through and fired 50 gazillion people because they could make AI do the taxes.
Oh yeah, no, not that.
What I'm saying is that right now in Japan, people are incredibly sensitive to outsiders coming through and making Japanese things theirs. And that's a very difficult chapter to be in when you are under so much
I got
pressure.
the answer. It doesn't have a physical release. Because it's all self-published.
They really should get on that. I feel like that would be an easy sale, right?
Yeah, it should. I'm very surprised because I know Mob Psycho 100. I know Mob Psycho 100 has physical releases. At least in the US, it does. I don't remember if Japan does, but I know in the US it does. But I gotta wonder, at some point, there's gotta be a physical release for the webcomic. It's so popular.
They'll probably get one, but I was just wondering if we have one now.
No.
But more.
By the way, it's not licensed in the U.S. at all. It's not.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, it's not. Just the main manga is. It wouldn't be licensed if it wasn't being collected, Nerdigans. That's how that works. There's no reason to license anything that you're not physically interacting with or doing anything with.
But I think it's very interesting, real quick, that it is. I didn't realize it's self-published, which I think is very interesting, according to what I found.
I get, okay, that might be a new fact to you, but like that's been pretty obvious from the start. Like he's always been like, I wrote this and I just put it up on my blog. Like that's self-publishing. You don't have to go through hoops and get certification. We publish all the time by
but what I'm saying is, considering how big One Punch Man is, I think it's interesting that he's still self-publishing.
Because he was doing that before One Punch Man took off. This way he gets all of that. He has complete control over that. That's all his right now.
Okay, yeah.
He doesn't need, just because you have something and you start working with somebody on something doesn't mean they get the entirety of everything. It's a whole different thing that we're slightly getting off topic on.
Okay,
but
something that I'm very curious. Okay, sorry.
All right, go ahead.
But because this is related to this debate, because we're talking about self-publishing.
Well, I don't want to talk about self-publishing.
Okay, then never mind.
Never mind.
Okay, sorry.
Self-publishing is not that interesting. We could sit here forever and go.
No, but I was saying in terms of distinction of like a manga and a webcomic, and also kind of like a manga. Actually, in terms of a manga, let me say this too, because we're talking about web comics and all that. Manga is from Korea mainly, right? And we have manga and webcomics on Webtoon, and it's made. We see it made by Americans as well. So what you got to ask the question then? What makes a manga? What makes a I can't remember the term for a Chinese comic. What makes a Chinese webcomic a Chinese webcomic? Like,
I think it's the same
word. I think it is the same word.
That it sounds incredibly close.
It sounds incredibly close.
It's something, it's very similar. I can see it in my head. And if it wasn't manhwa, then it's
The difference is its format. Manhwa is a scroll. Japanese is the manga is
the Chinese.
Right. Chinese is just manga. It's just manga. It doesn't do the special thing that Koreans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that's what manhwa is. Manhwa is a long
scroll. But what I'm saying is, does it matter if it comes out of Korea or not? That's what we're talking about.
So right. And that's what I was going to get to, which is a good lead in, Nerdigans, because so the thing to keep in mind here is I think we're all on the same page that trying to do a comic of a certain style, of a certain practice, of a certain philosophy, whatever you want to call it, discipline, I think is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
There's always, there's the difference between making something and, taking those influences and making something your own and going out there and then trying to work within a genre, right? For example, we've seen a lot of musicians from just name a band, Aerosmith to the Counting Crows, whatever. All of these bands have done really weird poppy theme songs for popular movies, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, they're a pop band. But then you look at their body of work, and you're like, oh no, they're like a heavy rock band, or they're this and that. And so you're able to, if you're a good creator, you're able to go, oh, if I'm being tapped to write a pop song or a rock song, maybe I'll have my flair to it, and you'll know that I wrote it, but I will try to work within those specifications. I'm going to try to make that. So I think that, to me, in my opinion, where I differ on all this is that I agree that manga has to have, you can't just, draw something in black and white and say, this is a manga, or you can't just copy panels and go, oh, see, this is inspired from Dragon Ball and Bleach. That doesn't work. In the interview that the Shueisha or the Katakawa guys did with Oricon News, they bring up a term that I'm sure many of us have heard, some of us haven't, but it's basically wabi-sabi. It's a real term, as racist and generic as it sounds, but wabi-sabi is essentially the Japanese equivalent of, what is that French term that we like joie de vivre. It's that special spark that comes from, for manga, it's specifically using the page to convey very strong emotions, like the art on the page. And that's why if you go and look at, let's say, a manga from the 1960s, just throw out anything, or the 1970s.
Or like Gege no Gitaro, for example.
Right, exactly. Pick any of that and then compare it to your Fantastic Fours from the Stan Lee Kirby run, or your early Conway Spider-Man. And yeah, the Western comics have a lot of emotion, but there's also a lot of telling you what's going on, a lot of putting it in your face, where in manga, it's maybe a little more subtle. It's a little more emphasis on the tone and the colors of everything. That's something that, what you were saying, Cider and Nerdigans, right? When you go pick up a manga versus I'm an American and I made a manga, you can tell there's something off. This is an imitation of that. I think it's possible to be a manga artist of a different country as long as you're working with you're as long as you're trying to do manga, like in that manga style, and you're not trying to rock the boat, you can be a mangaka. Like I think that works. And in terms of these guys at Kadokawa, what makes me less worried per se, at least in the sense of, is this, you know, can you be a mangaka, or like what are they going to capture the spirit, is that these guys are at least working under Japanese people, right? Like they're not just coming in and going, here's a bunch of money to do whatever you want. They're going to be working with editors of Kadokawa stuff that's already out there. So like Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin, Sergeant Frog, things we all know and love. So I think, like, you know, that's sort of passing down a skill to another person. And you know, to me, I don't necessarily think it has to stay within a specific race lineage, right? I'm reminded of way back, oh God, how long ago was it now? Like 2012, whenever they announced Ghost of Tsushima for PlayStation, and they had because it was during like the E3 or the State of Play, whatever the hell it was. And after the trailer, they had a guy come out and he was playing a wood flute. He was a white guy with a very scraggly beard, wearing, you know, traditional Japanese dress, Japanese hat, playing this Japanese music form. People lost their minds and they went, oh my God, this is cultural appropriation. Good job, Sony. Good job. Whatever the studio is that I'm blanking on their names for a second.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. I always get like them and Insomniac are like, I don't know why. They
I know,
always, like,
it happens to me too.
roll up in my mind. Yeah. So, but then, yeah, oh, you're so racist, you're so that. And then Sucker Punch came out and they went, look, this guy is like one of 2 people left in the world who knows how to do this, like flute style specifically. He learned from the Japanese masters. Like he was living in, like, what more do you want from us? So I think more importantly than anything, it's about, you know, to give an analogy, right? If I'm going to go into your home, I should respect your home. And if I say, oh, I'm going to, you know, make it, I want to model my home after your home or whatever. It's so neat and cozy. And then you come over and you go, oh, I see that you like started with what I did, but there's still like 400 posters on the wall. There's a lot of like, it's not quite that.
I got 2 examples. One, Boichi, you know, the mangaka of The Martial King and the artist for Dr. Stone, he's South Korean and he's doing pretty damn well.
Oh, wow.
As a mangaka. And then there's also, remember the episode in King of the Hill, the cultural appropriation episode, the Japanese guy that was providing Bobby the charcoal was black, and he was raised by Japanese people because there was, you know, a little bit of racist comments. They were like, dude, you're Japanese, you're black.
Yeah.
I was raised like,
but
so
that's exactly it. Yeah. You don't, to me, I don't think you need to, like, if somebody is going, made a manga, okay, you don't have to be Japanese, but you got to at least show me you're doing it in that style. Right. Exactly.
And Boichi, if you have not seen Dr. Stone's art, or if you've not read The Martial King, which is
or
by
any of the Ace stuff that he did for One Piece.
Oh yeah, the Ace, it's gorgeous. It is beautiful stuff.
He's a really good artist.
He is. He's able to he did a great job capturing Oda's style and making it his own.
You know what was, so here's an interesting point that isn't necessarily a cultural thing, but I was like, like it just stuck out to me, was in that interview, they noted that, yeah, we have a deluge of actual like mangaka, like anybody who can do manga, but specifically like we're really low on people who know how to adapt things. And I was like, that's pretty, so what they mean by that, guys, is like, oh, specific, or that was a bad setup. What they mean by that is like light novels, right?
Yep,
like
that's what I was thinking.
They're not talking about like, oh, we need somebody to come in and adapt, you know, Mobile Suit Gundam for the big screen. Like that's not like that. It's the other way around. They need people, because in Japan, it's really, really easy to publish your own light novels, to get your own light novels off the ground, all of that stuff. So gosh, Nerdigans, how many manga out there are like adaptations of light novels that are super popular?
I know, like, there's Goblin Slayer, there's
Konosuba.
What's the other one? Tensei Shitara Slime Ken, Shangri-La Frontier. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Shangri-La Frontier is an adaptation of a light novel. Sword Art Online has
I was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask, isn't Sword Art Online technically a light novel first?
Yeah, it's a light novel first. And there's like, how many manga adaptations?
Soon to be banned in Australia.
There's also ReZero has a couple of manga adaptations. what is it? Mushoku Tensei has a few manga as well.
But fellas, we're talking about adaptation, and we haven't talked about My Name Tanjiro.
My name Tanjiro.
Oh,
I'm
glad that Spencer is here for when we get to One Piece, because we have to talk about One Piece as well.
So there you go. Channing Tatum has been cast for the English dub of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinite Castle. So
but hold on a second. Didn't Channing Tatum do an English dub for a Studio Ghibli movie? I could be wrong.
I'm sure, because that's what I was going to say, is like Studio Ghibli loves doing celebrity voice actors, and it sucks.
There you go.
Well, I'm trying to look just for the. I don't know. Nerdigans will find that faster than me. But yeah, guys, there's not much to dive into with this story. The big thing is we are getting Channing Tatum doing a voice in the next Demon Slayer movie. No, I don't think they've said who he's going to be. Have they, Nerdigans? Cider?
No, I didn't see it.
I just found it.
Oh, here it is. I found it. It's Keizo in Demon Slayer.
Oh, that's who he is playing Keizo in Demon. Oh, that's weird. Why does nobody want to talk about
How
that?
did Keizo get into Demon Slayer? That's cool. He's a little fat for it.
So, God, Keizo. Are you talking about what was the name of the Concord
fat streamer
fatty?
guy?
No,
no. Oh, Muncha Luncha.
I know who you're talking about, but then I'm going like, I was trying to think of, Muncha Luncha. Hell yeah.
Daw is the real name of him. Daw. Muncha Luncha was so much better.
So, for those of you, he really was. For those of you who do know Demon Slayer, Keizo is the father of, or not the father, but the master of Hakuji, who's like I thought we were already past that villain, but he's like, I guess, the big bad demon villain. I read all that manga and it was fine, but it like left such a little impression that it's just out of my mind. Like, it's just dust in the wind. But so it's probably looking like a more minor role. I haven't seen the movie. I actually don't watch the anime, so I have no idea where the anime is unfolding or how it is. Nerdigans, you probably know a lot more than that. Yeah, just a generic dude, or not generic dude, but like a guy. He's no superpowers, no starring role. He's
I know. Flashbacks. So who Keizo is, I'm gonna spoil it. You should have read Demon Slayer. Basically, Keizo is who Akaza was when he was human. And like this scene, or I remember this because when I covered this on my channel, I was crying so hard when we got to Akaza's death. It was so emotional because he reunited with his waifu as he was dying. Oh my god, it's an emotional. I was an emotional wreck. I don't know if the anime is going to capture it as well as the manga did, because it was one of the most emotional scenes in the series. But for me, I stopped with Demon. I moved on from Demon Slayer when the manga ended because the Elusive Samurai came out like a couple of weeks later, and to me that was better than Demon Slayer in terms of art and story. So, and also if you have not read the Elusive Samurai, why go read it? You will thank me. It is so good.
Yeah, well,
there you go.
Yeah, that's who the character is. But to me, so all I really have to say about this is that this so I'm of two minds on this one. One, Channing Tatum has shown himself to be more, like, love him or hate him, he's shown himself to be the most willing, like one of the most willing actors in Hollywood to like throw himself into a role, really dedicate himself, like really, I don't like not even like dedicate, but yeah, like lose himself into it. He'll throw it in. He'll make fun of himself. He'll do anything wacky, yada, yada, yada. But he does it all like seriously, right? Like he's not in 21 Jump Street or Magic Mike. He's not in there where you're like, oh, he's like Harrison Ford, where you can tell he just does not want to be here. He's there. He's happy. And he wants to perform for you, even if he knows that the material might be crap. So I got to give him credit there. To that end, there is a possibility, obviously, as with everything, that he does a fine job. There's not really a lot of opportunity for him to do amazing. There's no like screaming and there's no like fighting from Keizo's character. It's just about, can he voice act over regular acting, which is it's a significant like skill divide, right? And that's what leads me into my other train of thought is that I hate that Hollywood keeps doing this, where they keep hiring actors, like screen actors, to do voice acting roles, because half the time they're fucking awful at it, because there is so much that the thing, like, you know, we all know, but we might not have like sat down and thought about, right? Is that with acting, you're trying to convey everything with what you're saying and the tone in your mouth, but also with the way you move and the very subtle things you do with your eyes or your mouth or your hands. You lose all of that in voice acting. You might be able to have that with the person in the booth across from you or next to you, but you know, on screen, none of the readers are going to see when you were like winking at your co-star or when they were like making a face at you. So a lot of actors will go into the booth and they'll just try to act, and you can tell you're like, okay, yeah, you matched the words that you said to the animation on screen. Fantastic. And it's a bummer, because there are really good video game video game animation, amazing voice actors out there. And honestly, the more we can give, what am I trying to say? The sooner or the more we could give voice actors like proper due and recognize them for everything they do and like how seminal they are to our pop culture and entertainment as much as like an actor is, the more we can start, like, people start taking it seriously, and the more we can start moving away from the bullshit Western voice artist scene we have right now, right? Like, yes, we know all of the click things. We know the Monica Rials, the Chris Sabatts of the world. They're awful. And so not only would we get rid of like that clicky nature, because we'd have so much more blood coming in, forcing them to compete for work, but also they do most of the Western voice actors right now, or let me rephrase that. Most of the newer generation of voice actors. So let's say voice actors who probably started in the scene with shows like, probably things like Bleach. That's probably it, right? Like Bleach. So your Johnny Young Bosches, your Erica Lindbecks, like that generation over your like Jim Cummings and Steve Blums or whatever. But those two, like all the names I named are pretty good damn voice actors. But for the younger generation, you have a lot of, you know, maybe help me out here, Nerdigans, because this is, maybe you have a better term for this. But like when I listen to a video game dub or any dub of a Japanese thing, they're not voice acting a character. Like, they're not trying to bring a character to life. They're trying to bring an anime character to life. So you get this weird sort of like like a lot of this and a lot of, oh, hey.
Oh
like,
my God. The best example is Nico in Witch Watch. Oh my God. That voice is just so bad in the dub. I've been like watching. Okay, I have to mention this because if you follow me on Twitter, you know this. I've been torturing myself with this dub to see how bad it is. Nico's voice is like nails on a chalkboard. Like Nico's sub Seiyu, she has like a low soprano, like borderline alto voice. Actor. No, I'm just saying in terms of pitch. Like,
no, I know, but say you don't have to trip over yourself. Oh, sorry,
but voice actor. But yeah, her voice actor is like about like a low soprano, alto kind of voice. This one though, the dub, it's like she's trying to be in like an upper range soprano, and it is the most annoying thing ever. I hate it so much.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. What are you
oh
saying,
my
Snyder?
God. And a lot of them are, no offense to VTubers, but some of them are like VTubers. And I'm just like,
but that's still what I'm saying, right? Is like VTubing is even more like worse of an example because that's not even acting. That's just somebody being themselves and they happen to be behind a screen. Like, it's not the same thing, like nowhere close. It's the equivalent of going, hey, my buddy Dave who works down at 7-Eleven, you got like 5 minutes? Can you come record my narrator for my thing? Like, you'll get the audio, but it won't be great.
That, you know what? Hold on, real quick.
No. Hold on. We got to let Cider go. We've been cutting him off for like 5 minutes. Go ahead, Cider.
I just want to say Robin Williams was the only one to be able to do both and not suck at either.
It's very rare when you have a voice actor. Yeah, he was good.
I think Steve Carell is good at it too.
What has he voice acted?
Gru. Despicable Me.
Oh, Gru. I heard Rue, and I thought, and I went like the little kangaroo from Winnie the Pooh.
No, the little
Like,
girl
when did he start
from
doing that.
from Hunger Games. He was the voice of
Oh
her.
yeah, of course. The little black chick who gets blown
it's-
up and then
it's
goes on to
Gru.
be the acolyte.
That's his most famous speaking role so far.
That is, and I would say he does well in that role, but that's also him going into like he's also like a comedy actor and somebody who like goes into roles like that. I think maybe that's what it is, right? Like maybe comedy actors are a little better about it because they understand
improv and character acting a little bit better.
Yeah.
The American voice actors, as far as like cartoons go, because I wanted to do Crush, the voice of Crush, down at Disneyland. They had like a job opening way back in the day where you could be the voice of the animatronic, and you would be there all day talking to kids live. Like they would walk up to the animatronic, kind of like that Megatron.
Or the donkey, like in Universal Studios for Shrek.
And it'll interact with you. So they wanted you to like do the Crush thing, bro. You let everybody know what you think about the world.
Oh, but you won't let me smoke on the job.
Yeah, right.
You don't want me really doing this job. You're setting me up for failure.
But so what they explained is that they want you to be over the top. That's what they want. And so when I can't imagine it's any different when they bring people into the booth, because when you look at American cartoons, 9.5 times out of 10, they are over the top comedy shows that are really like spastic sort of.
Yeah,
ADD
spazzy is the right way to put it.
massagers, you know?
Yeah, think your Teen Titans Go, your Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It's just.
Whereas in
That's the
Japan,
energy.
that's a very limited amount of entertainment. And it's kind of like your Shin-chans are sort of the ones that follow that style. Even Shin-chan, though, is a bit more evolved than the Amazing World of Gumball. Not in its visual presentation, but in the comedy it's trying to give you is a bit more evolved than Gumball's all the time. So that's what you're dealing with is that like when the voice acting nerdigans, when it comes to American voice actors, they're still doing the Speed Racer thing. They're still doing that still. They haven't evolved into like, this is a voice that I'm doing in order to deliver this character.
Because they still don't take like it. To me, it just boils back down to what we always talk about, which is like they, as much as they want to, collaborate One Piece with the Dodgers or whatever, anime is still or Doja Cat or what's her name, Megan Thee Stallion wants to go and cosplay on her photo shoots. Anime is still widely looked down upon here in the West because it is still animation. So a lot of these voice actors will come up. They're getting taught by teachers who are like, yes, Western voice acting is the best. And then you look at anime and they go, well, and then there's anime, which is this blah, 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 blah. So then instead of, like Cider said, putting on a real voice and putting in a real effort to go like, this is a character I need to realize, they look at it and they go, it's a character I need to bring to life, but it's also so silly and goofy. Like, am I really bringing this one to life? Like, come on, guys. Like, really? And it sucks because they're, again, aside from country of origin, there's no difference in what you're doing if you're voicing Cinderella or you're voicing Sailor Moon, right? It's such an absurd.
It's that black woman that's in all the video games now. Not
Deborah
Cynthia
Wilson.
Erivo, the Deborah, right? She's always Deborah. She's not any other character. She's just Deborah with a headpiece, or Deborah and a mecha, Deborah with a witch hat. She's just still Deborah.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring up a couple
That
more.
is the most distracting thing about her.
I do want to bring up a couple more stage actors that have transitioned to voice acting pretty well. Tim Allen has done some stuff with Toy Story.
I want to see Tim Allen. I want to see Tim Allen in a Gundam voicing Ramba Raw. Now that's
actually not a bad casting.
That
Not
would be
a bad
a lot
casting.
of fun.
Then you got Billy Crystal, who did a fantastic job as like Calcifer in
Okay,
High
hold on. Let me put a qualifier here, Nerdigans. So these are like actors who did like 1 or 2 roles, and that's fine. But like, what about actors who like regularly get tapped for things, right? Because
like Robin Williams was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and Studio Ghibli, like they go out of their way to, have quality. They were being brought over by Disney. So Disney was like, let's throw our money out there and put all these big people as much as we can so that people will come watch our silly, weird Japanese film.
Who would you even have in a Ghibli movie? Like Vin Diesel? You know, Aqua Bro? Who's going to be in the
Yeah, nowadays, I have no idea. The one
there's
that
no
I always
prestige
remember,
actors.
you're going to have a Tom Holland is probably going to voice something. In
Zendaya.
one. Zendaya, Timothy,
Chris
maybe
Pedro.
Sydney.
He'll voice all of them. Pedro will be all the characters.
Yeah, actually,
Pedro
that's
Pascal.
there we go, done. The
done.
Amazing World of Pedro instead of Arietti.
You know what? That's coming. I can't wait for like Wes Anderson to get fed up with just seeing Pedro everywhere. Just do the Amazing World of Pedro Pascal, where it's that movie, everything all the time, everywhere. But Pedro Pascal is everyone. Everyone he meets is Pedro Pascal.
But then watch it backfire, and it turns out like it's an amazing movie, and we all actually love it, and it makes us all actually like Pedro Pascal. And now he's even more in places, and then Wes Anderson just like puts a gun in his mouth.
Yeah, again.
Oh my God, it's that episode of Family Guy where everyone turns into Robin Williams, but instead it's Pedro Pascal.
Right.
That's kind of what we're getting to, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting close to that. But speaking of putting your foot in your mouth, you remember Linus of Tech Tips? Remember Linus Tech Tips?
Yeah.
In Canada. Well, he's still doing YouTube things, but I don't know for how much longer.
Casual use of hard R. Oh, really? It's jarring.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
jarring.
him on this video.
Casual use of hard R.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like okay, it was an episode of American Dad. And it was just like, yeah, it wasn't for shock value. It was just like used. Right? Well, I mean, I'm not going to deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then because the term hard R didn't even exist. We didn't think about it, right? And it's funny because to me, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but to my kids...
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
What?
Okay.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
Yeah, wait, what?
What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Hard R means ending.
I understand.
The N-word
I
with
understand.
hard R.
I understand what you mean. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, cool. So I'm glad that
I'm
we have
freaking
cleared that
Neo
up.
over here, dude. We're dodging bullets. That was bad.
Yes.
That was bad.
All right.
Thank you for that.
That guy needs to go outside, get some fresh air for a minute there, have a cigarette. Like, oh man. But yeah, so for Linus, you hear young kids today, they're young, I'm talking like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
They will go around and they will say things like, you can't use R slur. And now they've evolved into, you can't say hard R. So apparently tard is okay to say, but you can't say retard among the youth, as they call this the hard R, because they were never brought up with the hard R being a barrier to them. It was always the N word. That's what was applied to that. So again, the culture shifted. So
on my end, like I personally haven't heard the youth use it like that. Like that's just me. I'm sure you guys have. But where I've seen it being used is more like it is stupid older, people who are who just are very sheltered and don't really understand the world because there is no I'm sorry, like in what world did anybody ever use like the hard R for retard and not the N-word, right? Like it's just never a thing unless you were in a super privileged circle that had to, make all like don't use the hard R on the N-word, don't use the hard this word, don't you like once you get too safe and sheltered, that's when you start getting this and it makes everything just more stupid. I guess is where I'm going with it because it shows that you're out of touch. It shows that you don't understand like why you're getting in trouble. I don't know. It's all so stupid. We need to have like it's harder nowadays, guys, to like keep up with slang and like what words should mean because of the internet. I wish there was a place that was like, oh, this is the established dictionary for things that are happening on the day.
You mean the Urban Dictionary?
Except Urban Dictionary lets you submit it from anybody. So I see dumb shit entries all the time that are upvoted past what the real one is, right? Like I would type in faded. And I'm looking for the definition that is, in Northern California, that means you're high. In Southern California, that means you're drunk. Or no, other way around. But, you go and the top entry is faded. Yeah, a reference to the streamer who really sucks at CSGO. Oh, yeah, you're as bad as faded. Like something stupid like that. And it's like, okay, you're not helping there. And then just because of how like divisive and unwilling to work with anybody is nowadays, if somebody tried to make a centralized like dictionary, you'd have 700 people going, oh no, you used the wrong definition, and making forks and making different websites. And it's all, you know what? The only solution is to just hang out on Twitter all day and listen.
Well, that's what's going on for Linus. His kids are running around saying hard R at each other, and he thought they were saying retard. They were meaning retard, and when he took that to the internet did not hear it the same way.
Of course not.
But, speaking of being misunderstood, there's another controversy brewing in Japan. Everybody, this is over the Rental Family movie. Now, there are people in our audience that do not like this preview, as again, white man saves Japan is how it comes off to some folks who, again, are rightfully feeling guarded about Japanese culture right now. Have you guys seen this trailer yet?
I've seen the trailer. I've heard I don't even know how you get this interpretation off of that.
Same here. I'm confused about that too.
So as we go through this, Brendan Fraser is playing an actor in Japan. And as you can see, he is out of place, to say the least. And so he's having a bit of trouble sort of making it work. And he has an opportunity with a placement agency that says, we need a white guy. And in particular, what this is a rental service to fill the gap of a missing individual in someone's either party plans or daily lives, and they have enough money to afford an hourly accompaniment. And this is the story. There are some folks in Japan that do read this as a white guy going through and being like the magic black man. You remember that trope from like
yeah. Oh yeah.
And that has like all the special answers that the dumb white people can't come up with. And so this is the white guy version of that in Japan, where the white guy shows up and has all the special answers that dumb Japanese people. So that's how it's coming off to some people that are guarded about Japan's culture. For me, I love it. I think this is great. I read it as white guy goes around and learns that Japan isn't a place full of like super ninjas and perfect people, that actually they kind of do like live and breathe like the rest of us.
And he's not exactly portrayed as like a savior or a hero. He's down on his luck. That's why he's out there. Like, he's an actor who can't get fucking work, and he goes, oh, I can get a job out here being a pretend rental family man. And then, like Cider said, he rents it. Like, I can get what you're saying about like, oh, I understand some people are guarded. That's fine. That doesn't excuse being this stupid. Like if you're saying that this is a white savior trope for this movie or anything like that, or it's portraying Japanese people as dumb, you didn't watch it, or you didn't engage with the trailer. At least you didn't look up what the source material is. You just saw white guy in a primarily Japanese movie, or white guy leading a Japanese movie, and you shat your pants. So like, that's insane to me.
Well, again, it's folks who feel very protective about Japan, and it's a popular movie that's showing this. So
I don't give a shit if they're protective. You can be protective, but that doesn't give you an excuse to be stupid. You owe it to yourself, if you're somebody who is actually trying to defend Japan's culture, to learn what's actually happening so that you don't look like a moron like this. Because if you start bleeding about this, okay, why would I ever take you seriously about anything real? Because now I go, okay, XYZ complained about, there are more Americans being, immigrating into Japan, but he also crapped his pants about Brendan Fraser in a movie. What's the real issue here? Like, it's not an I can see where you're coming from, but that, to me, it's not an excuse, and it doesn't give you a pass on my book.
Of course, it's only Westerners complaining about it. Like, it just, again, I gotta bring up King of the Hill. It just makes me think of that Speedy Gonzalez joke. That I can't remember his name, but he said that Speedy Gonzalez ain't racist. He's our hero.
Right. Yeah. And again, I mean, like, we're seeing, as I said in my write-up about this, because there was an account that went on the attack about this and how it was like the white savior situation. And what I explained in my post was that this guy is being rented because he's white.
Yeah.
He's not even a rental savior. He's just a white guy that they want around. They quite literally call this agency and say, send the white guy. That's his role. He's told that that's why he's been hired, is that they need a token white guy. That's exactly why he's here. So all of these people that are depicted here have hired him for his services based on the fact that he's white, and most likely nothing else. And this is how he finds himself into this. I want to point out that this is a Japanese director that did this, and mostly a Japanese staff that took care of, basically finding places to film, getting the talent to do it here in Japan. I don't know for sure, but I think the old man in the hat that we see here in just a few minutes is a action star, or a drama star.
In Japan?
Yeah, I don't think I don't recognize him from Kamen Rider, but I think that this it's coming up here in just a second. Come on. Where is
I'm just doing my best Japanese impression so I can get in the mindset and see who it is.
So, where is he? It's this
This is why
scene where he's.
I should probably wear contacts.
Wait, okay. All right. So we're gonna. He's gonna pop up in just a second.
That's a pretty shot.
You know, it's hard not to have one. You know.
I know.
The any second now. Come on. There it is. So this guy.
Oh, he does look familiar.
Yeah, I don't know which property he's from, but he is. I think he's an important Japanese drama actor.
He is.
So
I'm gonna look this up. Yeah, he looks. I'll look it up later. But yeah, he looks super familiar. Maybe somebody in the chat's got us. But yeah.
So I believe, like, as a stage actor, I'm nowhere near any of the profession you're looking here on screen. But as a stage actor, there's a lot of plays that involve an actor that is in, you know, isolation. For whatever reason, most of the time it's because the world is passing by and he's no longer of use to who used to adore him. They don't recognize him anymore. Fans have faded away. So this could be that story, as it looks like he has become a shut-in, hikikomori. We do see another scene here that's pretty fun. This is Brendan Fraser's character with a hikikomori, I believe. This is a shut-in man that does not go outside. And my theory is that his mother has purchased Brendan Fraser to be the best friend of her hikikomori son to get him integrated back into society. And of course, because Brendan's so awkward and out of place, so too the hikikomori feels like he has a friend. So again, I don't see necessarily white savior. It kind of looks like the other way around. This guy has his like whole life redeemed and normalized by interacting with just regular Japanese people, not the super crazy actor types that's been around.
That's kind of what it looks like to me too. Like he might be like, oh, I'm so out of place, woe is me, but then he'll meet him and then he'll like get a different perspective. Nerdigans, isn't this a manga? Have you read it?
Mm-mm.
No, we have no point of reference.
No, I don't think. I think this is one of those like it takes inspiration. Yeah, I think this is brand new.
Wow.
I think this is brand new, and I could be wrong. I haven't ever read or heard about this having any roots.
Oh yeah,
beyond,
it is.
Like,
it is original.
The service of like these exist in real life, that you can rent boyfriends, you can rent girlfriends.
We know about rent a girlfriend. Sort of, that's something we know about.
Yeah, Rent a Girlfriend's a manga. That's a thing.
No. So these things exist all around the world. It's not even unique to Japan. But in this particular instance, the rental family story is being told through the perspective of a white guy in Japan that is a low-level actor being put in this position. And it has like one of my favorite lines. I know this is going to be like my second favorite movie ever already. So
This is amazing.
It's cool, but it's fake.
You know, sometimes it's okay to pretend.
That's
I love
cute.
that.
I miss that kind of stuff. It reminds me, did you guys see earlier today, there was an interview that came out with Seth MacFarlane, like Family Guy guy.
That was the thing I thought of too.
Yeah, and
so that man is Akira Imoto. Okay.
Yeah, I just looked that up. He's in a bunch of stuff. I know him from, well, he's in Shin Godzilla. He's the like chief cabinet guy. And then I also know him from this amazing movie. It's called Karate Robo Zabogar. And it is like from 2009, I believe. Like the very early like revival of sort of tokusatsu into its new era. Like not like Reiwa Showa, but just like creative production era, if you will. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Cider. But it's a remake of the original 1974 Zabogar, which was just a toku show about a transforming robot. But that's where I know him from, because he plays the like main doctor, like the scientist who creates like Zabogar.
Okay. Well, I know I recognize the face, so
yeah, no, there's a lot more stuff. Those are just the two that I remember him off the top of my head. But yeah, so Seth MacFarlane, he is a producer on the new Naked Gun movie, which I've heard is actually pretty good. I haven't seen it, but that's why he's being interviewed. And he was talking to, I believe, like Variety or the Hollywood Reporter, and he basically said, whatever happened to the aspirational stories, right? And this is another thing the three of us here have talked about all the time, man. Jacob, it's like, and well, I'll finish out what Seth was saying. It was basically like, yeah, where are all the aspirational stories? We have a lot of like cautious tales about things nowadays, but nothing that shows us like how do you get this right? And that's something we've been talking about a lot here, which is we have so many stories, for example, about tech or the future that are like, we're all going to die. It's all going to be awful. Everything is Black Mirror. Everything is Blade Runner. Everything is that. And nobody has made a thing that's like, oh, when was the last time we even got a droid or anything robotic AI that was as close to being as just like friendly as R2-D2? Like been a long time. I can't think of any robo companion, anybody like that in any piece of recent media, right? Like, I guess you could say BB-8, but that's just R2-D2 with a new paint job.
Yeah,
but
just BB-8 with more steps.
Yeah,
R2-D2 with less steps.
Well, literally, because he's a ball instead of like
exactly. That's the joke.
But yeah, like we see this all the time. Where are the so at least like this is what I've posited before is when we have this deluge of cautionary tales out there, they're good to warn us about things, but when that's all we're getting, that becomes the blueprint and that becomes sort of our accepted end game. Not that we're all sitting here going like, yes, I think we're all going that way. We will go there, but you know, your brain might not have noticed it, or you might not have noticed it, but your brain did. And it's those subtle things that all work in our brains. And like that to me sucks because we should be, I don't want to live in this Peter Thiel, Elon Musk future, right? Like I want to live in Star Wars or something a little more altruistic.
No, Spencer, no, you want to live in the world this man talks about.
I already
過去のことを思っちゃダメだよ。なんであんなことしたんだろう。怒りに変わってくるから。未来のことも思っちゃダメ。大丈夫かな。ああ、不安になってくるでしょ。ならば、一生懸命一つのところに命をかける。
Dude.
そうだ。今ここを生きていけば、みんな生き生きするぞ。なんとなく
that speaks to my soul. Also, like. First of all, I love that message. I want more messages like that just in things. Like, that's why I love Gozuger so much right now. Because, like, this is that. But, like, you just hit me with, like, the nostalgia, like, laser shot with, like, the music, the filming style, the, like, after... I don't know if that's actually what the recording is or if it's a filter that gave it that, like, 90s VHS. Like,
oh, no, it's old. It's old. Yeah.
Okay, dude, I just got one-shotted by that. This could... I don't think he is, but, like, this feels like the in a cartoon, right? Like they'll do the credits and it'll all wrap and then you'll get like a Disney cartoon and then there's like one little thing afterwards. Next episode or Sailor Moon used to have the Sailor Says, which was just like the little stupid PSA.
Yeah, and also the PSAs for like Captain Planet or G.I. Joe.
I know those existed. I didn't reference them because I actually don't know how they played out. I never saw them like on TV because I wasn't born around then. That was
Captain Planet aired though.
Japanese dad.
But Captain Planet aired like maybe you just weren't up early in the morning like I was because I have marching band at like 7 a.m. So I saw Captain Planet.
Captain Planet aired, but I remember around when I was watching, like my earliest memory of watching like cartoons before school was I think it was UPN. Like, I can't remember anymore. But the morning lineup was like, it was like Pokemon, or no, it was Dragon Ball. No. It was Pokemon, the Mega Man animated series, and like the Western one, and then the Sailor Moon dub. And so my sister and I would always get up and watch those three together. So I watched the Sailor. I knew the Sailor Moon dubs. I never saw the Captain Planet ones because that was lame. That was old. There was no explosions and laser beams. Like that was legitimately my arguing back then was like, I like anime. I like Gundam. All these like cool robots and people transforming with energy. Oh, this and like Captain Planet. Great. You look like this looks bad. Like it just feels old. Like it was we went to the video store, and my parents went, okay, go get whatever like animated superhero thing you wanted or whatever, and this was all that was left, and it was behind 7 things, and it has like the cartoon Dust and Cobwebs, and I'm like, okay, I guess Captain Planet.
Well, you know, the world is what it is, I guess, right? Especially when you're up at 7 a.m. for band practice. It's a different world. 7 a.m. band
Yeah,
practice.
never doing that. Not. I think like after I turned like 7, I stopped getting up at normal times.
Speaking of never doing that again, we do have an exclusive cut of the War of the Worlds.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
Garrett.
So there you go. There's pretty much the movie. There you go.
That's honestly kind of better.
Yeah.
I kind of this reminds me of like early Adult Swim cider. Like this feels like an
Oh my God,
Aquafina
it
show.
totally is. It totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody by now. There's not a lot to say. They've released a new War of the Worlds movie. I'm sure we've all seen it. It was shot during COVID, so it is one of those like it's one of those movies where nobody was around, like to film together. So it's very, very awkward. The premise is that it's the H.G. Wells War of the Worlds story, all that classic stuff.
But on Skype.
Yeah, it's basically Unfriended. You guys remember that movie, that horror movie that was like, it is literally Unfriended, but sci-fi instead of horror. And it's so bad. The acting is just like it is every mess you could possibly think of, everything wrong with the movie, and that's what's in there, right? What the one thing I will say about this movie that like stood out to me that made me crack the fuck up and like just like roll my eyes. There's a moment, well, rolling my eyes at the entire thing, but there is literally a scene where like Ice Cube needs to put something on a thumb drive and then plug it into something else, and he's working at like the Department of Defense, right? Like super high tech, like, or not high tech, but like high clearance security. So he's on Skype and they go, you need to download this and put it on a thumb drive. And he goes, a thumb drive? Where am I supposed to get a thumb drive? Who the fuck has a thumb drive? And it's supposed to be like this relatable moment, but like you're in the government, like Department of Defense. You would have thumb drives. Like that's one of the places I would expect it to be. You know what I mean? And so Ice Cube's like, what am I supposed to do? And one of the other characters goes, I got you. And he holds up a drone and he goes, Prime Air. I can get anything to you like as soon as you need it. Oh, but you need to place an official order through Amazon. And so Ice-T does. And you see him step by step place an order on Amazon for a thumb drive. And that guy magically gets assigned the delivery. And now the drone will turn on and he can fly it over to Ice Cube's place. Like it is so bad. It is ridiculously bad.
Is it The Room bad?
Well, here's the difference, right? Like we say The Room is bad, and it is bad as like on all technical levels. Like the writing is bad, the shooting is bad, acting's terrible. But what makes us love The Room and why it like sticks with us is because it was at least made with heart, right? Like Tommy Wiseau, he thought he was making something genuine. So like, yes, it turned out bad, but at least it was a genuine bad. This is like cynical bad. Nobody wanted to make this movie. Nobody had passion for this movie. Not even the producers or the people doing the layout, like the CGI for the computer screen or whatever. This was clearly like crapped out for whatever. And it's more insulting because it's like, if I go to a restaurant, right, and they accidentally screw up my food or they, bring me the wrong drink. That sucks. Like I go to the Room restaurant and I go and I expect yes, I go to Wiseau's and the food comes out and it maybe isn't presented the best and the service is pretty bad and the lights are on a little too bright, so the ambience is ruined. And you go, okay, that was a bad place, but I feel bad for the guy because he's clearly passionate. You can tell in the food there was some good taste. Like he had ideas, they just didn't realize. Like, okay, like that sucks. With War of the Worlds, that's like them going, you're eating McDonald's right now. Like you want McDonald's. And then they go, you go, okay, you're going to offer me McDonald's. I know from Amazon, it's not going to be the best food. Like it's not going to be write home or start a food blog about, but it's going to be food and it'll be decent food and I'll eat it and I'll at least, feel full at the end of the movie, but then you go in and you go, okay, can I get your burger? And they spit in it like in front of your face, and then they like crap, like they replace the patty with a poop in front of you, and then they slap you, and then they put it in the bag and say, you liked that, right? Like, or rather, you hand them the bag, and that transaction to them counts as a 5-star review. And they go, thanks. Like we can see you love using our service. So it's just really bad. It's one of those ones that makes you feel like, yeah, insulted is genuinely the best way. If nothing else, the most insulting thing about it is that it was filmed during COVID for COVID, like to be released during COVID when we all were stuck inside, and they didn't do it. They waited 5 years. This isn't new. So it's just like, what are you guys doing? I don't know. It reminds me of, okay, not reminds me, but the sheer dumbness of Amazon and their timing and all of this stuff. It triggered in my brain the thought of, remember G20 from earlier this year? God, I brought that movie up. I was hanging out with a group of normies like the other week, and I explained to them, I referenced G20 or something. I was like, oh yeah, great, an Amazon movie. Just like G20, I can't wait. And they went, what's that? And I told them, and I told them the premise without being like over the top and like making the jokes like we did, or we do. I told them it's a movie from Amazon starring Viola Davis as the president of the United States, who is giving a talk at some, environmental or peace conference. I can't remember what it was at the time, but she's giving the speech, and it gets raided by a team of bad guys led by the guy who plays Homelander, and she has to fight them back. One-on-one, she has to be like her own commando-style warrior to take back the White House. That was the description. I promise you guys. You guys know me. I'm not going to go crazy and lie to them. And they all went like, are you just making things up? Like, that can't be. Who put money in? Like, they were all absolutely confused because they were like, who thought this would have ever been a good idea, right? And these were people there who there were people among us who voted for Kamala and were like actively like supporting Kamala, and that's what that movie is for. It was supposed to puff up Kamala, and even they were like, it was embarrassing. Like this was bad.
They should have made this. Cynthia Erivo stars in That Spooky Bitch 3.
Action. I'm so sad. Okay, I'm so sad because this is where my brain part happened. I was gonna like several million thoughts, but the one that came to mind was like, this feels like it would be a joke in like a scary movie, but then it also feels like it would just be like another movie from that era. Like,
yeah, like the Sharknado priest. Yeah. Ghost
Like
Shark.
that, but even remember the era when these types of parody movies started falling away and we got things like Meet the Spartans and Superhero Movie or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Yep. Those are terrible, but they're not as bad as like Sharknado, right? I think that would fall somewhere like not quite, the honestly, Garrett's video there was pretty much what Sharknado was, right? Like, yeah, dragging your graphics around the screen and going, "Whoa, we're in a tornado," as opposed to like, oh wow, I don't even know where I was going with that one. But
the Goblin Nun,
the Goblin Nun, the Goblin.
She has to make goblin noises, right? Little noises all the time. That would be hilarious.
Except watch this. They cast her in this goblin movie, whatever we call it. You two can develop the names, you and you Cider. But they do that movie and she plays the goblin, and that's what they headline, right? Like, come to the world of goblins, like the Troll movies or whatever. Or what was that Zack Snyder one? The Guardian, or like Legends of Ga'Hoole or whatever. Guardians of Ga'Hoole, the Legends of the Owl, whatever that animated one was. Yeah. Oh man, is the right reaction to that. But so that's what you headline her, you're focusing, and she does those goblin noises, right? And that's a selling point. That's the whole thing that distinguishes them as their original thing, like their own whatever. And then people on the internet would start joking about that noise because A, it would just be funny, and B, Schwarzenegger wheel. This is, as Cider goes over all the time, the post irony internet, where all you have to do is just throw a clip onto an image, and we will get like that's the joke nowadays. As soon as that happens with her goblin noises, though, she's going to have another one of her meltdowns about like, oh, this is racist. You're trying to mock a black woman, like she did with the poster when she was like, oh, you're editing the Wicked poster to make it look more like the Broadway one. That's racist. You're erasing me. You hate black people. And it's just like, you're insane. Like, you're actually probably insane.
Speaking of probably being insane, Melanie Mack ran away from the internet.
Oh boy. Yeah. So I have no idea what's been going on with her with this. This is YouTube. Lay it on me. I'm along for the ride for this one.
Okay, so I watched like
genuinely
maybe
have no
the
idea.
first 10 minutes of her insane video before
So what was it?
I had to
Like-
stop. She said that allegedly she left YouTube because it was, or sorry, Twitter, because it was demonic, and that she was tired of the bots attacking her or something like that. And she also didn't want to support the AI Grok bot. And apparently, like a man without a shirt, an AI, fictional man without a shirt is considered like porn to her, which blew my mind. I was just like, what?
I mean this like this is not an insult. Like, this is like a setup, a lead-in, but like, how could you have not known that? Like, that's what that entire crew is, right? Like the JDAs, the John Trents, the Yorches, the Andy Pans Gamer, the Melanie Max. That's their entire brand. Is anything remotely anything that I can interpret as giving a tingle in your downstairs jangle, that's a sin. Like, remember, to them, any feeling of eros at all that isn't, I'm feeling amorous towards you because I want to make a baby, is a sin. And even having a baby, like sex for a baby, is a sin. You don't want to discuss it. It's gross. Blah, 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 blah. Like,
The other thing
they want burkas.
The other thing she said too, in terms of the people attacking her, she said that she was saying that the white nationalists, and they are, I'm not just saying for the sake of saying it. No, we're talking about people like the JDAs that were saying that the Jews need to convert to Christianity. She was saying that there was like Islamic propaganda. I'm like, no. These people are for real. There's no Islamic influence or anything. These people in your comment section who got mad at her for supporting the Jews, these people are real. Like, I hate that Nazi has been watered down, but neo-Nazism is real. These white nationalists are real. Whether you like it or not, they exist. And as Californians know, they exist, unfortunately.
And like, that's the audience she courted. I don't, you can't be surprised when that happens. Like, so to me, without knowing any of the drama that's happening, just from having heard that one breakdown from Nerdigans right here, and I saw a screenshot of her video where it's her with the Grok AI thing, like up on screen. Somebody was commenting. I don't even know what it was anymore. I just scrolled through it. I try not to lose more brain cells than I already do by being me, by engaging with people like her, or even like giving her my time of day. But if you are somebody who takes very like intentionally, like, what's the word? Like, you're a shit starter, right? Like, your whole brand is, I'm going to be super like pushy and offensive towards this group, and like, ha 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 ha. How can you be surprised when that's what you court, right? But more to the point, this whole idea of her like, oh, I'm being attacked by bots. Oh, all of my critics are, Islamic propagandists. Anytime anybody makes very wide sweeping generalizations like that, you can kind of write them off as full of shit. Whether it's somebody saying, oh, I'm being attacked, I'm getting a bunch of racist feedback, or somebody going, wow, looks like the woke people are blowing up my mentions. If they can't give you a specific, like a thing, like they can't show you like this person, that person, or this organization or this site said something, then what it means is they got genuine pushback that they cannot defend. And so what's the best defense for that is to tell everybody who doesn't know the situation, oh, I'm being unfairly attacked. This cannot be my fault. I am being maligned. And it's one of the more pathetic things I've ever seen. And I see it from all of them, from the JDA, from the Trents, from the Torch, from the Melanies. Like, stand on your shit. If you're gonna like cry, like if you're gonna go and yell at people and attack people and do things are intentionally offensive to people, don't be surprised. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Well,
this is nothing to me.
Well, it's not because she got kicked back because she was anti-porn. It was because she went to a My Chemical Romance concert, and they have been taking shots at Christianity in the past or present or whatever. And her fans were like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Okay, that's
no. She addressed that. She said that wasn't it. She said that wasn't it at all. She said that.
Today was the day that the porn was too much, right? Today was the day that the porn. No, it was the fact that she can't take hate for not being consistent. This would be like finding her at a 50 Shades of Grey movie theater showing or something like that with a cucumber in her hand. It's just as bad because you have to remember she riles all these people up, believing that if you say these things, you are like physically taking a knife to the throat of Christianity. This is a threat to the existence of Christians by being My Chemical Romance, being the average punk rock commentator. They've always been against Christianity. Find me a punk rock band that didn't come out against Christianity.
Right?
That's the more rare thing. And that's what it is that she couldn't handle people just asking her questions. Why did you do this? Because she can't say, because I wanted to. She can't say that because that was not a good enough excuse for anybody else when they were engaging with this stuff. And that's why she ran. The porn stuff isn't why she ran. She doesn't care about this stuff. She had a gay husband. She puts up with people teasing her about that all the time. It's not. It's the fact that she can't like work her way back out of the My Chemical Romance thing. It's like how John Delarose can't explain that he had a child out of wedlock. He can't acknowledge his daughter's age. He literally cannot tell you when his daughter was born because it indicates that he was not married to the mother.
Shocking. It's no way that the people who scream the loudest have the biggest skeletons in their oldest skeleton. What is the like term for like more skeleton? Like,
yeah,
is it
right.
Bigger skeleton? Is it wider skeleton? Is it dustier skeleton? I don't know, but you guys know what
dustier,
I mean.
Definitely in her case.
Yeah, dustier. Oh God.
See, this is what happens with Melanie Mack. Okay. So what I said is another rainy day Christian crashes out when her two-faced attitude gets drug out into the light. What a surprise. Repent, Melanie. Find a man that'll tolerate an eggless hag. And so here you have it. You just do a Google search. Just do a Google search of Melanie Mack, and you will eventually run across her Instagram pictures of her thirst trapping her followers. This is thirst trapping.
That's the thing that's always sort of stood out to me about Melanie Mack is like, she got her start as like, I want to work at IGN. I'm a streamer like that. She was one of those original, like she was an e-girl in the beginning.
She was on G4.
Right. And so then all of a sudden she makes a super hard turn into calling everybody slurs, like the F slur and, I'm super Christian. I'm the most holy. It's like, she's clearly somebody who goes where the attention is. And now what's happening now is that she built up that petard, like she's being hoisted by her own petard in the sense of what Cider was saying, where she presented herself and her argument and her side as so vehemently like pure. Like it's the same thing that happens to super left circles and super right, any circle that is about this kind of stuff. Purity tests happen, and she set up the purity test. But like any like scam artist, she was not willing to abide by it herself, and that's what Cider is kind of saying, right? If she would have just gone, okay, so people can have their own opinions about Christianity, whatever. We all have our own opinions. All we can do is sort of, live our lives and example against that. If she went like that and went to a My Chem Romance show, nobody would people would probably make fun of her for going to a My Chem show. And I say that as somebody who loves My Chem. Like, I know the stigma, guys, the 13-year-old sad boy stigma. I get it. But if she hadn't put up this big wall, this defense, she could have gone there. Some of her followers would have been like, you went to see My Chem. But they wouldn't have gone, excuse me, they said demonic things. You said anything like that should never be supported. What are you doing? And so now that she's losing her audience, she has to retreat into a smaller sphere that is even more just like her audience, right? Like, I'm done with Twitter now. Now I'm only on YouTube. Okay, well, now she's only talking to that YouTube audience. She only cares about them. Once that flips, she's going to go to Rumble. Once that implodes, she's going to go to what's even out there? Odyssey.
Comfy.
Kick.
Comfy?
Cozy.
Like, I don't even...
Cozy. That's the one that Nick Fuentes is on. Cozy.
Oh, is it?
That's the one he started, yeah.
That's not even like that wasn't at like even Nick. That's just like that's what I mean. There's 700 million different ones. I genuinely don't know what the kids use these days.
But yeah, there's good old Melanie Mac.
That's a woman for you.
I will say, I am going to miss, if she's actually off Twitter, I am going to miss the occasional, tweet that escapes containment or my mute function and gets into my timeline where it's her doing her daily Bible read, because they're the funniest videos on the planet. Because she's like, "Oh, I'm a super, scriptorial warrior. Like I know
scriptorial. Oh, that's so true."
And then she'll go, "All right, Cider 5-4. Thou shalt watch the Power Rangers in order." And she like does that cadence like she's learning to read for the first time.
Yeah, 7th grader reading a technical manual in school. Yeah. It's bizarre.
I read, bizarre. In this example, we read that Cider verse that says, "Thou shalt not watch Power Rangers out of order," and we go, okay, what does that mean for like what are we supposed to take from that moving forward? What is that like supposed to apply to our lives? Instead of reading the rest of the verse or giving any insight, she just goes, "Thou shalt not watch out of order." Wow, that's a lot to think about, guys. See you tomorrow for my next Bible verse. And it's like, you didn't do anything. Like, you didn't say anything. You just read one sentence poorly. And it was, what was shocking to me was that there were so many, well, I guess it's not shocking, but all of her simps, which at this point are like 40-year-old guys who, 40-year-old hikamoris and who are married. And they're just like, "This is so great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I look forward to these every day. This is really helping my journey." And I'm just like,
yeah,
what's happening here?
Well, we have a moment of zen here. It's pretty on
please.
Point. So here's the Chinese Navy having a bit of a problem with the Philippine Navy.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can
save
£100 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Which one's the Chinese boat? Is it the...
Both of the ones that just hit.
Oh, awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah, look at the damage.
I know. It's like listing. It's sinking.
Hold on. You haven't seen the battleship yet.
Holidays.
The cruiser.
Holidays you can trust. International protected.
Damn.
Nothing.
So as you can see, what's going on is the Chinese are trying to force the Philippines out of the West Philippine Sea. They're trying to tell them, "Hey, this is ours. You need to get out of here. Screw you. This fish is ours," that kind of stuff, territory. They've built their fake islands, all that jazz. And so the Philippines, obviously not having it. They have been, just being in the waters, and this is how China's been treating them. Now, when people tell you that China is a great threat to the United States, I want you to just watch this next few seconds. And here are 2 Chinese vessels that have the whole fucking ocean, the entire fucking ocean, and they run into each other.
It's so like, that's bad. So a lot of people might hear what Cider said and go like, "Well, planes, we don't get that mad when planes collide in the sky, and they have all the path and
they only have so many places to go."
Exactly. They have so many places to go. They have to go on these flights, that they're highly coordinated, because otherwise you get those crashes. But here you have complete freedom and you have way better visual, it's easier for you to see a boat out on the ocean in front of you than it is to actively see a plane, especially like another smaller plane, while you're flying yourself, right? So this is what Cider said right there about anytime somebody says that China's a threat to us, show them this. This is it. He's right. And what am I trying to say here? So obviously we all know that we've spent at least the last 5 years, 4 years, 10 years, maybe even, dealing with the new China, right? Like the Xi Jinping China, the mandate of heaven China, the expansion China. And for a while, it was pretty scary. Yeah, this happened in the Philippines. But with China, at the beginning, that was actually pretty scary, because it was sort of like they took the veil off and all of a sudden they were on our level, if not about to or if not neck and neck with us. And that was just shocking. And we started seeing all these developments coming out. And a lot of that was shock and awe because the West, and not just America, but like, you know, Europe and Russia and all these places, like these are the places we would expect to have this development, not tiny like China that is all bundled up and locks everybody out. And so, you know, Xi has gone out for the last decade or so and, you know, wielded his big yellow wiener and gone, yes, I am the leader. Yay, yay, yay. We're going to take over the world. Screw America. We're doing our influence. Here's the thing, though. They're kind of a paper tiger because they essentially all of that is, or what am I trying? Essentially, they had a point where they could have posed a genuine threat to us. Like in everything, and especially if we went into a military engagement, they've passed that point now. And now the effects of things like,
there's a dude, right? Look, there's a dude.
Oh, on the bow, like right there. What's he doing?
Right, he's putting a bumper out.
That's not.
Look at the speed that ship's going. Look at the wave it's cutting right at the front of the bow of the ship. You see that? Look at the speed that's going. He's like, I will put a bumper out. I will put a bumper out. That'll help. A bumper. That I don't know if that guy even lived through this because, like, you can't see him. He's gone. They collide dead into the side of that ship. It is basically just about this kind of a collision right here. You couldn't have hit any more straight on without piercing right through the other ship.
Couldn't. That's why I thought it was like another. I thought when you first pulled it up that the cruiser or like the boat there, the fishing boat was. I thought that was like China trying to attack this boat we're on, which is a Filipino ship. And then that other one came and went, you know, we're Philippines. I don't think so. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That would have made sense. But this, yeah, that is.
Both boats were trying to ram the Philippines boat.
God.
And they weren't paying attention to each other.
I beat them with like Goku, like Saiyan Saga tactics. Like this is how he beats the Ginyu Force. Like this is how Bugs Bunny beats Daffy Duck. That's insane to me.
Yeah, this is the old bend the rifle back around on him.
Yeah.
And that's it. The Philippines were just like, we'll take a surprise U-turn, and one of these idiots will follow us, and they did. And they did. And see, this is what the Chinese do: is they roll up with their Coast Guard boats and their Navy boats, and they shrink the area that the Philippines boat can be in, and they water blast it till it's damaged. Then it has to go back, and it's temporarily unable to patrol the waters. And in that time, China goes in and puts down all of their water listening gizmos that they've developed.
That's when they use the opportunity to like they harvest all the fish. So then when the Filipino boats come out, or Taiwan or Korea or whoever. It's a big ocean. Whenever they try to go to their territory, they go, oh shit, we don't have the food for what we were expecting. And that causes, you know, societal, economic, all that sort of problems. But with China's like effectiveness, they're a paper tiger now because they had a window where if they would have done anything, they probably would have won, but they've passed it. And we're at that stage where all of those years of isolation and the one child policy, now they're catching up to China. They don't have the people to staff their military or all of this stuff or work in these factories. They killed them all off because they were girls, right? Like, and now, you know, the men are going through just as much of a like loneliness crisis there as we are here. So no, they're not necessarily making more. And if you're not making more, especially for a population that's that massive, that's going to be a big thing. So at this point, I feel like it is a lot of, you know, magician's trick. Like, look over here, instead of
it's the communists.
Yeah,
the Soviets were never really on par with us. They had a few crews and a few ships that could actually vex our small groups in those areas, and so we were worried about those. The nukes were mainly what made them a threat to us. They didn't have better tactics. They just had more bodies to throw. The only reason why they toppled the Germans was because they could throw more bodies at them. That's the only reason why. There was no tactics. There was no superior weaponry. The tanks they were using could be fixed with a single wrench. There was
a tactic, but it wasn't their tactic. It was a misfire tactic on Hitler's end, thinking, oh yeah, let's go in and attack Russia on their territory in the middle of dead fucking winter.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is what this is summer vacation for us. What were you thinking?
You fool. You started a land war in Asia. You know?
Yeah, first off, fuck yes. Second of all, I don't even I can't even think it's that like impressive. Or like epic of like I see the troops coming and let me it was probably just like who was it? It was Lenin, right? Seriously? Okay.
It was Stalin.
Like Stalin. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
not Lenin. Stalin. Lenin came a little later. But yeah, Stalin just calls up like, really? All right then. And just like everybody that night was like, really? I don't believe you. Oh, they're really doing it. All right, we win. Like they probably called it before the fighting even started.
Yeah, and that's just no, he didn't learn from Napoleon. And if there's anyone you need to learn from, it's Napoleon. You can learn a lot from Napoleon, including building a base out in the middle of the ocean. Don't do that. That's pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb.
You got to look at Napoleon as a case too of like, don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do, because they exiled that motherfucker after his first couple campaigns went bad, and he still found a way back to France and still found a way back into power.
Omelette du ma fromage.
Short kings rise up. All right.
Speaking of short kings, though, we do have the 10th anniversary of Black Clover. That's right, 10 years that this has been going on.
I know you read this, Nerdigans.
Yeah, I covered the chapters today, and my God, we had everybody coming back today. I'm happy that we had the Diamond Kingdom, like I'm spoiling it, you have to deal with it. We have Mars, Labros, and the rest of the Diamond Kingdom finally coming back. We have the elves coming into because we're in the final battle against oh my God, I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. We Asta's down for the count, right? Was down for the count. But we had the elves, we had like the researchers come back. We had everyone come back, and they all came together to heal Mimosa so she could heal Asta and come back in the battle. Lucius.
I am not super like anywhere close to caught up to Black Clover. I've read the first couple of volumes, but I've got stacks and stacks of things. Let me ask you this. Do you think the manga is still in a good place? Do you think it should still keep going? Do you think what's the future 10 years look like for Black Clover, Nerdigans?
I'm really sad because it's very much rushed. You can tell it's very much rushed. I'm really sad because with the Diamond Kingdom content, or with the people at the Diamond Kingdom, there's a new character that came into play, and I'm just like, yeah, you could tell there was supposed to be a Diamond Kingdom arc prior or during this, and I'm just like thinking, okay, we might have a Boruto to Blue Vortex moment where we find out what was supposed to happen during the fight, which I hope happens. But like everything is just moving so fast, and part of me is thinking maybe Tabata just wants to wrap it up so he could be with his family. But at the same time, I'm like, if Tabata, if you wanted to be with your family so bad, like just put the manga on hiatus a little bit longer and do it.
Yeah, like
Shueisha will let you do it.
Yeah, take care of yourself before. Like I think that's a thing more people need to remember in the world, Nerdigans, right? Is like we'd rather you delay something and take the time to recover from whatever it is and give us something good than rush out just to abide by a release schedule. You know what? And this is not talking about things like Assassin's Creed Shadows where they'll delay it 900 times and that's because they're scrambling. But I mean, like, I got sick, or I was vacation with my family, or I was things like that.
Because remember, Tabata's case, remember his family was sick too, and
was that him? I always, with mangaka, I get a lot of my information from you, and the stories all run together a little bit. So I remember that story. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, and then like I've said this in my live reaction for Black Clover. It's like we have like D Greyman, which is quarterly, and it is slower than hell. But my God, it is.
I didn't even know that was still going.
Yeah, it is. We had 2 chapters yesterday, and oh my God, like it's worth the wait for these chapters because what Hoshino does is so beautiful. The art is great. The writing's great. I understand they have a health problems. I can wait. World Trigger, slower. Pace is slower than hell, but I understand. I'm just glad we have World Trigger. There was a period where we weren't sure that we were going to ever get another chapter of World
I know,
Trigger.
I remember that. And that's when I stopped, because like it was just like, okay, I'm going to keep waiting. All right, I just got to like accept it's over. Like I'm just going.
I know a lot of people were like that too. And me, I was like, nah, I'm keeping the faith on this one. And it came back. I was like, ha, I told you. And then there's Hunter x Hunter. There was Hunter x Hunter with Togashi. People are still uncertain. And then Togashi has proven everybody. It's like, yeah, just wait. We're figuring it out. We're still waiting.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like we're totally fine. Togashi, like
we're fine with Berserk too.
Time.
That's
right,
why.
yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people are frustrated with this whole situation with Tabata. It's like, dude, we can wait. We can wait. Do what you need to do. Spend as much time with your family as you want, because Tabata has a young child. So it's like, dude, we totally understand if you want to.
Even more so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
get time with your kid, hang out, like take care of your wife. Yeah, get on that.
I mean, like we see, it's not like Tabata is like Urushibara, the mangaka of Togenanki, who was able to adjust his schedule to be with his young baby.
Sometimes it can't. Yeah, sometimes it can't work out it can't happen like that. It's just the way of life, right? Like we have schedules, things don't work out like that all the time. But I think is more of that backlash coming from like Western fans or Japanese fans of
there is a backlash,
not backlash per se, but like dude, just chill out. Like we don't need you to come back. Like, have you seen more of that from Japan or from America?
I haven't really seen. Well, I haven't looked to see.
Okay,
but like if there's a backlash. If there's a backlash, it would be from probably Western fans.
I used the wrong word. I used the wrong word. But yeah.
But the other one I want to bring up too is Watsuki with Rurouni Kenshin, because he got really sick not too long ago, and he had to put the series Hokkaido arc on hiatus. And Japanese fans were like, dude, because this is a good example. They're like, dude, we can wait as long as you need. Just take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. We'll wait for Hokkaido arc to come back. We want chapters right away, obviously, but your health is important. That's how Japanese fans are when it comes to series.
Well, at least for me, when it comes to Watsuki, I kind of don't care if that pedophile gets better. That's
the mentality from West. I know, but I'm saying that's the mentality from Western fans. But I'm just saying that's the mentality from Japanese fans, and that's how Japanese fans. I'm using that as an example because that's how Japanese fans are in general with mangaka in terms of health. They are willing to wait as long as they need to, as long as the mangaka are healthy. They care about the mangaka's health.
And I think why I was asking, like, where is it coming from? And I guess it still applies because it is coming, we see it in the West. It's a global sort of shift in how we approach work. But I think, we're long past that idea of the boomer idiom of like, you got to always like be, always be achieving, always be producing, because we saw like what the effects of that were, and they didn't benefit for us, right? Like, oh, you dedicate your life, you give it up. Well, you missed out on your kids, you missed out on all this. And then you get to, 40 years in retirement and they fire you a day before your pension is good. Like, so all of that illusion broke for us. And I think it's for the better, because we really shouldn't be pushing ourselves all the damn time to just produce. I'd rather things be quality. I'd rather people be mentally okay instead of, on the brink because they have to show up for a shift. Now there's a difference, of course, right, Nerdigans, between like, I'm having a bit of a struggle today, or I'm sick, and say, I don't know, I'm just not going to do it. Right. Like an EVS, right. Who takes all your money and goes, oh yeah, I'm going to give you a comic, and then doesn't do it. And you see him streaming all the time.
Someday.
And you're like, no. Yes. So Cyberfrog 3, 2085 at this point. But then when we hit 2085, he'll say, oh, it's still in production, but now here's a new campaign for a new Cyberfrog 3 cover. Oh my God, you all want to get on this collector's items. But yeah, I think that actually kind of makes me happy to see, because don't work yourselves to death, guys. There's no more benefit for that anymore, right? Like that's another big thing, is that worked a lot for our parents and our grandparents specifically, where they could go out and they could like every day put in 10 hours, and that would get the money to put their kids through school and buy a house and take vacations and fix the car and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't happen for us anymore. Like that working 10 hours straight gets you, I don't know, maybe a month's worth of rent. Like it's a really shitty time out there for all of us.
But something that I really love about social media is that, especially since we can connect with these mangaka, is that, especially the parents, is that we get to see them like being so happy with their kids, and especially with young parents like Urushibara and Okubo, the mangaka of Fire Force. They post pictures of their kids all the time, or talk about stuff with their kids. Or the mangaka of Ayakashi Triangle, like he'll post art that their kids are drawing, and he talked about like how he dreams of doing a manga together with their kids. And it's just the sweetest thing. And something that I really like seeing is that I really like seeing how far publishers have come and how more accommodating they are.
Yeah.
With
definitely. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
I like that they're willing, how much more willing they are to work with their writers, especially like in cases like with Tagashi. And I just remember when I was writing the article about Tagashi and reading that comment on how he couldn't pick up his child and how heartbreaking that was because of how bad his pain was.
Right. No, I'm 100%. That's what I was. Yeah. That's the period on what I was saying, right? Like I am super happy that we're starting to see that shift in attitudes just across the world, because we're not buying what they're selling anymore. And it's great.
But then we got the whole situation with the One Piece live action.
Yep, I have that buried somewhere. There we are. That'll close out the show for tonight. So if you guys aren't aware, One Piece has One Piece Season 2. The trailer has come out for it. We're going to watch that with volume way down on it, okay?
And also Season 3 has officially been confirmed too.
I mean, I'm sure, yeah.
So, sorry. Realize I'm just tired. So here we go.
Everything I've done.
So these locations look pretty accurate.
I've always loved the set work they do in the One Piece live action.
What is that?
Froggy!
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. Robin,
I'm torn on. I think it's the wig. It's just killing me.
There's something about like the makeup and the wig. Like she looks fine, like the actress.
It's just those bangs are horrible.
I'm kind of. We'll see how it is in Action Nerdigans, but I almost kind of want to chalk it up to like maybe this is something about like her all Sunday disguise, and like that's why she looks so, more makeup and like, you know what I mean? Like that's why she looks like that. I don't know. That was just my theory. Oh wow! Wow, that actually pulled off pretty good. Or Baloo or Labu. I was going to call it a Labu Labu, and I know that is not what it is.
No. So there you go.
Not bad.
Good old One Piece Season 2 coming out. As you can see, the CGI they're trying to use sparingly, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't do practical effects with Luffy's gummy arms. They don't look right on anything other than in an anime. And we're really fortunate that Netflix has decided, or at least the showrunners of this season, have decided not to go CGI complete mayhem with Luffy's abilities, and instead kind of want to keep it centered on the environments that they're.
And like they totally had the opportunity to do that too, because after the smash hit of season 1, Netflix was probably like, "What do you guys want to like do anything?" But thankfully, we have people who are smart with this show at the very least.
Well, it will be interesting to see what
that's
happens.
I wanted to ask you. Yeah, what are we bringing up on this, Nerdigans? You said we got to talk about the season 2 of it all. What are we talking about?
So I sent Cider the side-by-side comparison so we could take a look at how accurate the characters look. Because Brogy, I think, looks the best. Smoker looks really good too.
Smoker, like it's not that he bugs me. It's the same
look at
feeling
look
I
at
had.
Brogy, though. Look at
that.
No,
Brogy's great.
The beard could be a little bit fuller.
I realize where I'm coming from is the exact same place I was coming from with season 1, which is I look at these shots and they seem like they're cosplayers doing a photo shoot, which isn't necessarily like a bad thing, but if you're a cosplayer, and I encourage you, you don't have to look super accurate to them. I don't care about that. But, we see a picture of a Luffy at an expo, and maybe he's a little taller than Luffy normally is, or he's black, or he's white, or whatever the hell, right? So that's what it always feels like coming off to me. So that's what I got from Smoker. Something about him feels very Party City. But
yeah, I see.
I gotta see him, but I feel like if I see him in action, all of that's going to melt away.
Also, something I noticed too
with the other guys.
Something I noticed too is that the scars are missing on the face.
Of Smoker?
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, that's the thing. It's like maybe because also isn't that post time skip when he gets the scars?
Maybe you are right about that.
But also, even if I'm wrong, I would still wait to see because this is a low quality in motion shot of Smoker in like one frame, which is like maybe it's in the sunlight over there. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That this could be the lighting as well.
Yeah. Whose comment did you just pull up? It was Susan. Yeah. So I'm kind of with you there. I'm not very much a fan of this. So how do I put this? I liked the first season. I really like the casting. I think the production team is great. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with any of the production per se of One Piece. But with this trailer, it's kind of a boring trailer. There's really not the same level of like expansive looking out over the sea cast of colorful characters that we got from the season 1 trailers. This is more like, this is what you're going to see. And it's like, okay, but I want to be like fantasticalized, I guess. But this is just on my end. Like, I'm going to struggle to get through the season because this is my least favorite part of One Piece. Like, everything we're about to cover this was like, at least in my opinion, and it looks like Nerdigan shares it with me, like, it's a lot of
exposition.
Like, it's exposition, but also like hadn't found its footing yet. So
you
got a lot of like, okay, he's traveling to a different place, and he meets people, but then he doesn't really like engage with them. He kind of just goes. And then that's probably the best way to describe it, Nerdigans. They were kind of doing the Kamen Rider Toku thing, Arrow thing of like villain of the arc, sort of, but it was like, like they would go to a different island. Oh, here's a villain. We beat them. Okay, now we go to this island. There's our villain. We're going to fight them and beat them. And it was like, yeah, you're doing, it's a different design for the map, I guess, for the shonen storytelling map, but it's still a shonen storytelling map. And so that's why I like that they finally, what they needed to add, and they finally did, like after, I would say honestly, after Sky Island, is a lot more of them interacting with people, not in like pirate or combat capabilities, right? Like just, and that, because Water 7's the next, right, Nerdigan? So it's, so yeah, they'll get to Water 7, and there's, they hang out with Polly for a little bit because he invites the Straw Hats and shows them around. Nami goes shopping with, I think it's Usopp, and that's how they hear about all like the assassination plans and everything. So yeah, that like it picks up for me from here, but this specific chunk is like the worst part. And so they announced like all the, like they said it's like this arc to that arc, which is it? It's from Drum Island to the beginning of Skypiea, right? Like,
yeah, I think so.
Skypiea. Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna get like fully into Skypiea. I just don't see it.
We'll see. Yeah, that's honestly,
that's a huge ask.
That's like a whole other topic, but I kind of agree with you on that one, Nerdigans. It'll probably come up eventually. We'll talk about Skypiea, but yeah, Drum Island to Skypiea to me, I went, son of a, like those are the, like specifically the ones I don't like. You couldn't have.
I do like Skypiea. I like Skypiea, but like
I like that's what I was about to say. I like Skypiea, so I was like, you couldn't add like at least the start of Skypiea to this so that I could have something to look forward to. I like Skypiea. I really, really like Skypiea as an arc, and it's just everything right now that we're about to see is just it's boring.
But man, I'm going to say this though, is that, and you kind of mentioned it when we were talking about Smoker. I really do not like a lot of the costuming and the hair and makeup. I think whoever is doing it needs to be chopped and bring someone from the stage adaptations in Japan to do the hair and makeup. They will do a better job than this.
Yeah, the hair, the wigs, the
Those
makeup.
wigs are
the makeup on
horrible.
Robin at least, because like everybody else looks fine. Robin looks no other way to put it, but like a French whore, right? Like she's got the super rosy cheeks. Like
She looks like a Russian
white.
hooker. She
Yeah,
looks like a
and
Russian hooker.
And that to me
A
is
cheap
like
one.
exactly like Robin is. She is your elegant waifu, right? Like she is
Yeah.
she is beauty, she is grace. Like ask her nice, she'll sit on your face. Like that's what Robin is. And the way what we saw from her there is too like cheap.
That's a Party City wig. Let's be real.
Well, and that's why like that makes me wonder if her look is specifically part of her all Sunday disguise to Baroque works to move among them, right? Like
even if it's a disguise, it shouldn't be that cheap.
But it would be that cheap if you're with Baroque Works. You know what I mean? Like that works for me because Baroque Works wasn't necessarily a good team. It was really held together by Smoker or Crocodile.
Part of me,
James
like,
Howard.
but at the same time, part of me thinks that at least the wig would look a little bit better. Like makeup, I can maybe understand, but that wig though.
Well, that's what I was saying about because like I was talking about like her makeup, but like her wig, I think that's just a down like a weakness of the entire One Piece production crew because
Nami's wig is horrible too. Oh my god,
exactly what I was bringing up. Like Emily Rudd is amazing. She's a goddamn angel on this earth, but that wig makes her look like a train wreck. And it's just like, where did the money go? Like, and you know what? I don't even think it was like a budget thing. It's just like,
I think it's the hairstylist. They could hire a better hairstylist.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Vivi here because something that's really bothering
Vivi, whatever.
Yeah, but there's the major problem that a lot of people are having is that Alabasta/Arabasta is mainly inspired by like ancient Egypt. And there's the argument that there's hints of India up in there too. But people are mad that because this is a growing problem apparently that characters that are Middle Eastern inspired are getting casted with or Indian actors and actresses are being casted into Middle Eastern roles. That's what people are mad at. And but the other problem that's happening is you have the usual suspects calling this actress, who again is Indian, they're calling her black. And they're saying that Vivi is white. We're having that conversation too. It is ridiculous.
Well, in terms of the whole Indians being cast in the Middle Eastern role, like this is, I get that there's a conversation to be had there, but there's also the understanding that like, guys, it's a limited pool of people you can pull from. Yes, actors are global and there are actors from all over the world. How the fuck are you going to find them? Are you going? I remember I was reading an interview with somebody and they were talking about some role that they were playing where somebody was in a wheelchair. Like they were playing it was a director and they had a wheelchair bound character in whatever they were doing. And it wasn't played by a wheelchair, like a person who needed it. It was played by somebody who could walk. And the interviewer asked him like, what was your thought about that? Like, why didn't you cast an appropriate actor? And the guy was like, where am I going to find an actor who can do this, sing at this like level, and is also in a wheelchair? I hear you, but sometimes we have to work with what we've got. And it's like, okay, you want, a bunch of Middle Eastern actors front and center and up, like doing, let's say they're all of Arabasta. How are you going to fill that out? You can't. Like there's not 40 high Indian actors in this industry who want to specifically work in that role that you're going to find, right? Like that's a dumb conversation. But the one about the race swapping, this is a tough one because there's so many different factors going into this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you guys can see there, obviously in the manga and the anime, Vivi, whatever it is, her and the little dude from Final Fantasy IX, they both have the same name. I never know how to pronounce it. Whenever I say it, I get yelled at. So you're all just going to have to deal with whichever pronunciation comes out of my mouth at any given time. But yeah, so Vivi was portrayed pretty damn pale. She's pretty white. As Nerdigans noted, her home country of Arabasta is very Middle East, ancient Egypt inspired. I don't know where the Indian influence is coming from there. I guess the turbans, but like everybody out there wears turbans. It gets hot. So like her, and then so her country is definitely rooted in, you know, the Middle East. And then all of her, like her father and all the other residents of Arabasta, Alabasta, whatever you want to use, they are shown to be pretty like dark skinned, except for what's his name, Nerdigans, the bomb guy, Pell. But that was like part of his like seagull design. Like that was that was an anime thing, right? Like whatever.
Yeah.
But so yes, on one hand, in every depiction we've seen of Vivi, she's been like very, very pale skinned. Fast forward to here, and this like visually, that is a super stark change in what we expect from Vivi. Like, just nobody can argue that. It's literally black and white, literally. But the thing that makes it hard to go, this is a pure race swap, is that, you know, it was rooted in those cultures. Oda did draw a lot of the people with those, you know, colors and influences. So it gets murky. I think I would have liked to have seen personally, I would have liked to have seen, I guess, a compromise, which is, you know, get your Middle Eastern actor or wherever she's from, but, you know, maybe it sounds horrible, but like get one with lighter skinned, right? Like just a little closer
possible
to what Vivi. Yeah, exactly.
Because there's
a little closer.
Because this feels like, to me, it feels like, because people are like, oh, it's perfect because she's in the desert kingdom, so she could have darker skin. It's like, dude, this feels like Black Cleopatra all over again, right?
That is kind of where I'm getting. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have a Mediterranean, because, you know, Cleopatra was from like Macedonia, from like Greece, the Greek area. You could have like a Mediterranean actress, someone from like the Mediterranean area, like Italy or Greece. Like you could have. There's plenty of places you can get an actress from where they're like olive skin tone. That's the color I was thinking of. You could get an olive skin tone actress. That's a fair compromise. We're not like people. We're not saying that she needs to be white. We're just saying that she needs to be like she's from the area, from the inspired area.
Well, not even. Well, okay, but that's where that's sort of. Hold on. Slight explanation of that, Nerdigans, is like. Remember though, like she does like if that wasn't Vivi and that was just an Alabastan citizen. Mm-hmm. She does look like she's from there. Remember, everybody in the kingdom is that very dark brown, like that, you know, all the ones that get attacked by crocodile. So as a resident of the kingdom, yeah, that's fine. But Vivi specifically was way lighter than all of them, right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
That's where I think it's like a slight race swap. And I think, at least on my end, and obviously you two can, you know, have the floor, obviously, but like I admit that I'm probably a little more lenient towards One Piece Netflix in particular with this kind of stuff, because I know the team working on it really loves it, and Oda is super attached to it. So like, yeah, I can't agree that this is somewhat of a race swap. Put your asterisk, define it how you want. But I also don't know if it was, you know, the embarrassing, malicious ones that we see out of companies like Disney, right? This might have just honestly been, oh, this was the Indian actress who applied, go with her, or maybe Oda really liked her. I don't know. Sometimes things, even the best things, guys, like misfire sometimes on castings, right? Like, look at the MCU. At the time, like, it was pretty good. Tom Holland, maybe not the best pick for a Peter Parker, but yeah, that's at least how I feel, Nerdigans.
And what's funny is, and I'll pull this up, is the one of the actors, Wapple's actor, attempted to come to the defense of this casting choice, and I sent it to Cider. I thought it was so funny because he was attacking, you know, the fandom or the people that are attacking her. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, I sent it to you.
Neat. What is it?
It's the Instagram post. I sent it to you in the
thing.
Slack.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I gotta download it. Hold on.
So basically, he was saying that, as I was saying, that people were pissed that Vivi wasn't white. You can read it, Cider, or do you want me to read it?
I think you probably ought to, because I don't even know.
All right, hold on. Let me just grab it on my end real quick, and I'll read it.
All right, while you read that, I'm gonna go grab some water, but I will be right back.
Okay, here we go. Just let me make this bigger on my end. So this is Walpole's actor Rob Coletti, and he said, "It is astonishing to me in all the wrong ways how certain small but far too vocal corners of the One Piece fandom can watch a rubber pirate, a reindeer doctor, and a giant walking, talking fish and be totally fine, but draw the line at the simple idea and Nefertari Vivi being played by a woman who isn't white. Charithra, there we go, was hand selected by Oda, and he has far more knowledge and understanding of his own characters than anyone else, particularly the hateful, unimaginative creeps who actually have the audacity to get on the internet to throw hate speech towards an actor without even seeing their absolutely amazing performance on the show." And to be fair, there are people that are directly attacking her. Please don't do that. You can have your criticisms, but don't actually tag her. That's really rude. But let's talk facts. Nefertari is Egyptian. See, you acknowledged it. That's where I got confused. I was like, really? Whereas Egypt, the Middle East, the kingdom of Alabasta draws heavily from Middle Eastern and South Asian culture. And you're complaining because the actor chosen to play the role isn't white? The majority of people, that's where I got confused. It's because it's like, dude, the majority of people that are complaining about this are complaining that she isn't Middle Eastern. That's where I was like, what? You acknowledge that she's supposed to be Egyptian, or she's inspired by Egyptian culture and all that. But the main complaint is that she's not being played by a Middle Eastern person. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? I have to wonder, do you know how ridiculous you sound? But whatever. Representation matters. Casting Charithra isn't changing the character. Kind of is, but okay. It's actually honoring Oda's intended vision, and that's a lot more important to protecting One Piece the way you're crying about than coddling what your perception of what this character should be. But for those of you incapable of looking past your racist and hateful tendencies, Charithra delivers an astonishing performance, one that will reverberate in the One Piece fandom forever. She isn't just good in the show, she is exceptional. And even more important than that, Charithra is one of the kindest, most generous human beings I've ever had the honor of knowing and befriending. She embodies everything the heroes of One Piece are written to embody, and we are so lucky to have her helping us tell this story. And that's the real point here. The work she does as Vivi, which all that should matter to you anyway, not only honors Oda's source material brilliantly, it will inspire generations of little girls who deserve to see themselves up on that screen in her. All right. And as a result, the world will be blessed with more artists and heroes, improved moral compasses, and creators and storytellers. We should all celebrate what...
Sounds an awful lot like, think of how many lives this television show is going to save, that Rings of Power actor. Like, come on, guy, it's just a Netflix show. Pump the brakes, okay? I get it. You think she's a good actor, that's enough. You don't need to be like, because they put her in here, there will be no nuclear war. Oil will stop being used. Candy will rain from the sky, but only on Saturdays at 4 p.m.
But the thing, as I said, the main thing that got me was like, he's said, before I finish the rest of this, he said that you're just mad that a non-white actress is playing her, but this is inspired by Egyptian culture. It's like, no, that's not the point. You missed the point. Let's see. Here we go. If that alone doesn't move you to be excited, you misunderstand One Piece at its core. No, this is the point, but okay. The incredible story has always and will always celebrate champion diversity. That's not up for debate. And to be fair, most of you have been incredibly welcoming and appreciative of Jarithra, and we see that, and we are grateful to you for that. And we encourage you to continue to stand up to racism and bigotry from the small, hateful faction of the fan base that are ruining this experience for everyone else. But to those of you whose suspension of disbelief survives devil fruits, giant sea monsters, snails that become telephones, and all of the other marvelous, wondrous, imaginative, magical world building that Oda created for everyone on this big, beautiful planet, it somehow crumbles at the sight of an accurate representation of a pretend. Dude, you don't. God, this fucking logic, man, of a pretend character in a live-action remake of a cartoon. Oh, we're not going to get into that debate. The problem isn't with casting, it's with you. That kind of behavior is ignorant and embarrassing, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. Do better, do better. Okay, so first of all, here's the problem I'm having. One thing I will agree with is just don't harass the actress herself. Don't do that. That is really messed up. Just leave her alone. If you have problems, you can voice them. You can have your criticism, but don't directly attack the actress. That is just messed up. But as I said here, I'm going to go back and read this right here. He said, Nefertari is Egyptian. Where is Egypt? The Middle East. The kingdom of Alabasta draws heavily from Middle Eastern and Southern Asian culture. And you're complaining because the actor chosen to play the role isn't white? Do you know how ridiculous you sound? Representation matters. No, people are mad that she is Indian. The actress casted is Indian and not Middle Eastern. By your logic, you're saying that Middle Eastern people are white. But you said Middle East here, but oh God. It feels like the Black Cleopatra situation. That's what it feels like. These people, oh God, he pisses me off. I swear to God. But yeah, but what do you think about this? Was Spencer back, or is he still getting water?
I'm here.
He's back.
Okay, what do you think about this, Spencer?
I was settling back in. To me, like I said, it just seems like another case. It's one of those cases where, like we said, this is one that is more blurry than a lot of other race swaps, right? And like source material accuracy things, because it's not as clear cut as Hollywood took a hold of something and is running with it, and the actress is out here now doing a bunch of like, this means everything for us, right? There's no Hollywood Reporter, yada, yada, blow up spots or anything. I think, as always, anybody harassing or attacking anybody like this online is just a full-on shithead, regardless of who you are, what you are, any of that sort of fun stuff. Like, you can offer criticism, and there's ways to do it. Yelling at people and going, oh, you're a dumb bitch, oh, you're racist, nothing like that is ever going to help. Like, that's the stuff that gives whatever your opposition is ammo to go, what? Well, look at that. I'm just getting attacked. I'm going to write them all off. And if, even if you're just one person, you go, oh, I'm just one person, doesn't matter. Well, you're one person on the internet where zillions of people are probably going to leave the same comment. So it's all stupid. It's funny you brought up her stuff, because she did actually share like screenshots of like attacks she was getting.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Which is exactly when we were talking about the Melanie Mack stuff. This actress was who I came to my mind, because I went, if they say they're just, getting attacked and they run away, it's bullcrap. But this actress presented evidence, just like somebody presented evidence, even though some Star Wars lady, it wasn't the Acolyte, it was somebody Star Wars presented evidence of it was the chick from Obi-Wan, the bad girl from Obi-Wan, whatever her name is, the Inquisitor. She made a post and she went, oh yeah, I'm getting attacked, here are actual tweets and things I'm getting. And at the very least, I can applaud her for that and say good on you, because that helps your case. That gives less ammo for people to go, no, it's not happening. In the interim, or I guess overall, everybody just needs to chill out. Everybody just needs to chill out. We can even say this is a bad casting, because even I think, I don't know the actress's skills at all, but just on a visual level, even I think this is a bad casting. but we can say it's a bad casting without implying that she's destroying Western civilization or destroying, Oda's vision or ruining all manga forever, right? Like,
Yeah.
we can all step back from the ledge.
Yeah, like I've seen people saying they're canceling their Netflix subscription.
Over this, not cuties, huh? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, all right.
It's people that want to have a problem are going to have a problem, and that's just the reality of it, like anything else. For me, I think it's a little annoying that the character is very light-skinned in the anime, and all of a sudden we have a person who is not light-skinned playing her. I don't care if the place is Egypt. That's not how she looks in the anime. Usopp is clearly dark-complected. That's very obvious that he is not the same race as Vivi. It's very obvious. However,
because, we could even do the thing cider where it's like, oh, let's say that there with Usopp, a lot of people went, oh, look in the anime, he's not like black, he's just got like tanner skin. And fair, but also like Oda came out and said he's based on like Africans. So we can check.
They didn't put a guy that's as dark as Shaq.
But that's what I was getting. Hold on, that's what I was getting to is that. So when we went in and we got Usopp, like when we got the African actor as Usopp, he was a little darker, but that was like, oh, you could see that everybody was like a little darker or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's just live action or animated live action, right? You're going to have to, the visuals are going to change the way you shoot things. If you're trying to capture
people have tans. Yes,
exactly. Right. And so like I shot with Usopp, I'm right there with you. Like he wasn't super way dark, but I was like, that makes sense. Like that does look like Usopp. This one is like way kind of out of left field. And it's, to be fair to the critics, like this is the second time they've done it. Nerdigans, if you remember Insider, the Nami's sister, Nojiko, she got like, she was super race swapped, right? Like she was slightly like African complexioned in the show, like very bare. She has like 0.01 darker skin than Nami, and she's got like puffier lips or fuller lips. So it's like, and Nami's adopted into her family, so that makes sense. But it's like you took way too many liberties with that one, and then that's like here you're taking way too many liberties with that one. Like I'm right. I'm in Cider's camp.
Well, and that's just, again, I'm just a stickler for that thing looked that way over here, and we're trying to tell everybody we're doing faithful recreations. Now, when you tell me that Usopp's from Africa and he looks like it, neat. When you tell me Vivi is Egyptian and she looks like a raver girl from Coachella, no. I'm not going to have you run in here and tell me that she's somebody who looks closer to Megan Thee Stallion or an Indian actress than she does. I don't know. Who's a good, like Katy Perry? That's the problem we have. Is you slap a blue wig on Katy Perry, she's closer to Vivi than the actress that they chose. It's not that the actress has any fault in this. She didn't decide one day to be the character. She did her audition like she was asked to, and they chose her. That was their decision to go out here and say, One Piece is too white. And that's all that casting says to anybody anywhere. One Piece is too white. That's all that casting says. Because there's 1,000 actresses that could have portrayed Vivi with that lighter complexion. But they chose this actress because they said, we have too many light-complected characters in this show. Most of the main cast is straight up light-complected. So we need to have someone who has dark complexion so they're being seen. Well, again, Usopp is on the lighter end of
I agree with you, but I think you're coming at it from a different, like the wrong angle. I don't think this is, One Piece is so white, we need to make it, more diverse. I think that mentality is pretty far gone at this point. You're only seeing like leftovers from things like Ironheart. But what I do think you're seeing is we need more black, like let's give more opportunities to black, actors. It's the same. I don't even want to say it's the same side of a different side of the same coin, because it's less like white people and more just like, we want to, give more black people roles, which again, a better goal. I still don't agree that you did that here, but I get that more than I get, white people. Let's add more minorities because I hate white people.
Sure. Either way you come out of it, though, the conclusion is they found that the One Piece casting as it's presented on television is not benefiting their political.
That's what I'm disagreeing with. It is not them going, wow, this disagrees with my political narrative. Let's get in here and make them know that this is too white. It's not that. It's them. To me, this is them going, we want to give more roles to Black people. What can we do? Like, where can we put a Black person in this show? And they went, oh, we'll put her at Vivi because we have more. We can, there's more of a.
Well, Netflix has the Black,
there, right?
Well, Netflix has the Black Cleopatra narrative too.
Right. So, like, none of this to me is fuck white people or political white people. Like, I think if you view that, if you look at this and that's your immediate conclusion, I would invite you to like just breathe a little bit, because yes, those people do exist, but they're not like that. That's not what this is. That's not what the One Piece situation is.
Mm-mm. Even though, again, she is Indian, to be fair, but they could have, because of the situation with what happened to Netflix with the Black Cleopatra controversy, I gotta wonder if they took a look at, there's the Indian aspect in terms of inspiration for Alabasta. Let's roll with that and get an Indian actress instead to get that representation.
That's more even confusing to me. I've never seen any Indian in Alabasta.
I didn't even know about it until people started bringing it up. I always thought it was Egyptian.
Has Oda ever said anything about that?
That's what, like, I've seen like there's like this magazine that people have brought up to in conversation, and I'm just like, other than that, I've never seen anything about Indian influence.
Oh, that's stupid. Okay, I found out where it is coming from, right? Oda has said Alabasta is Egypt, like straight Egypt. There is a book that came out a couple years ago. It's called the Rurubu One Piece, whatever the hell that means. But it's like a travel guide, a sort of when you see like you go to the grocery store and there are the Time magazines that have like Pokemon, and then it's just like random It's kind of like that, a little more in depth though, because it was overseen by it was made by the magazine publisher. Like they handled it. Oda gave a little oversight to it, right? Basically being like, no, don't forget that, don't forget this. Not as much as he does with the live action. In that book, according to the One Piece wiki that I'm looking at, they drew the comparisons between Alabasta and Indian, and they're basically the only thing that they say like is Indian are how the onion domes on all the structures, right? But to me, I don't even like, to me, that's just like a stylistic take on a regular, I don't know. That didn't feel Indian. I see those kind of things and I think of Aladdin, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Like, I know they're in India, but I never necessarily, to me, the Indian ones are like they're, I don't know. It's dumb. It's all dumb. It's all, everywhere I'm about to go is definitely subjective. Like how I
that's why I was just like, you're even if this is true whatnot, I'm just like, dude, there's just like one tiny thing, like 1%, if anything. It's kind of like with what happened with the Fantastic Four, right? They took that 1% and used it as an excuse to put make this Silver Surfer female.
Silver Surfer, yeah.
That's what this kind of gives. I feel like that's why the cast Vivi is Indian.
But also check this out, right, Nerdigans? Because according to the same entry I'm reading, the other inspiration that same magazine says, they go, oh yeah, it's inspired by Alabasta and Las Vegas, because there is that Rain Dinners restaurant that they go to, like when the Straw Hats first show up, that's like pyramid shaped and super like gaudy, and they went, that's like the Luxor. Okay, so then
that's inspired by Egypt too.
Right, that's what I'm getting. It's like, so what are we even doing here? Like this is the problem that we run into with a lot of fiction nowadays, is that if you are a creator, and I know a lot of you are out there, I know we all are here on the panel, you know that you take inspiration, whether it's visual inspiration or writing or whatever, from everything you interact with in life, right? Like you'll whether you're doing it, you know, as an intentional thing where you're like, oh, I want to use that superpower, or it's just something that pops up in your mind and you didn't even realize it. Like that's what happens. So the second you start sitting there and there's one thing to be said about like, let's sit here and break down like all the inspirations for Alabasta and to observe it and be like, oh, that's pretty interesting, right? Like this would be a different conversation if we were all just sitting here going, and Nerdigans opened this with, oh, I just read a post that said, you know, look at all these inspirations for Alabasta. I never knew it. Let's check it out. And we would go through it and we'd go, oh, I see those from India. Oh, I see the, you know, Luxor comparison. That would be interesting to us. But what we get a lot more nowadays from idiots is they break things down into their atoms essentially, and then ignore everything else for that one atom, right? So like they did it here where there's Egypt, there's Las Vegas, there's probably a bunch of other random Middle Eastern countries or visuals that Oda pulled from, but they locked into the one thing that was possibly Indian and said, this is totally all India inspired. It's a big inspiration. Well, when you do that, everything gets stupid. Like you can do that for anything. And then you just start going, again, it's people wanting to be angry about something. I like genuinely, I'm surprised that this sort of discourse is happening. And maybe, you know, I do know you tend to run in the more niche circles of the internet. So maybe not saying that like your reporting on it is dumb or anything, but like maybe that is a minority and we just don't realize it. And like, that would be nice. But like, I genuinely thought this like, oh, country, blood and soil for your fictional characters. I genuinely thought we were kind of over this even before the overall vibe shift of Trump 2, right? Like I kind of thought we were all, that was on the way out. So I'm very surprised that it's like watching a lost tribe. Like it's almost like a zoo exhibit.
You know what? I think what set it off is what Netflix did with going back to the Cleopatra. I think that's in this situation. I think that's what kind of set it off.
What do you mean?
Because of Netflix doing the Black Cleopatra. I think that in this situation with Egyptians and all that, I think that's why that tribe still somewhat exists. If that would have never happened, then I don't think we would be having this kind of tribal conversation.
Well, okay, no, I think you are. I may have misspoken because it's not the people who are, you know, going, oh, you're darkening her. Oh my God, why are you doing that and pushing a narrative that I am necessarily talking about right here? Like that's dumb too, but that's like Cider and I. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. That is an annoying argument that's going around, but like Cider and I said, like that's and you like there's a little more meat there, right? Like we can understand where that discussion's coming from. I'm talking about the people who go, oh, India, where's more of the Indian influence, right? Like whoever did that, that's who I'm like weirded out about.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay.
I'm seeing people like, as I said, with the Silver Surfer argument, they're saying because there's Indian influence. It's influenced by Egypt and India. They're using that as an excuse for there to be for the Indian casting. That's what I'm saying. They're using it as an excuse for Vivi to be Indian. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think I follow.
They're saying that because there is an Indian influence, whether it is like 1% or like 50%, that it is okay for Netflix to cast an Indian actress to play Vivi.
And that's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised still exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not surprised by that. It's kind of like, I mean, it's happening in, I saw this in Marvel, in the comics community, where people were using, saying that these are like the most popular gay characters. And despite like, say, like Wonder Woman, Catwoman, who else was it? Kitty Pryde and like Tim Drake, not having like that many issues of them being like bisexual or gay. They had like all of their issues that they've ever been in included. It was weird.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore. I think we need to move on from that because like now we're getting into like weird social media
I was
stuff.
just
And
I think go to bed, guys.
yeah,
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
what that is. I don't know what we're talking about.
I'm gonna.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think.
Yeah. Cider's Diet.
Nerdigans, where do we find you in the shows?
Oh, I was just gonna close us out.
You can find me on YouTube at Nerdigans Inc., where we cover anime and manga every day, and we're currently fighting like multiple copyright strikes from a really asshole German company. Oh my god, it's so frustrating. Hopefully, I'm gonna win it, and my channel won't be terminated. I can't do live streams because of these mofos. But anyways, I'm doing my anime content on Patreon. We are covering Witch Watch, Togenanki, Gachi Yakuta, and I'm debating on dropping a couple of cuckoos because it is just pissing me off. We are covering My Dress Up Darling and Dan to Dan as well. You can follow me on Twitter right here, where we are covering like almost everything at the moment. In terms of bounding content, I know I got to finish that Kiba stuff, but man, it's just overwhelming. Between like finishing going through the rest of the unorganized screenshots from the second victim, so I got to figure out how I'm going to execute that portion, and also fighting these copyright strikes. It's just insane. But other than that, of course, I'll be here next week, and we got to figure. Spencer and I got to figure out how we're going to do this King of the Hill stream.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Spencer, and where do we find you when the show's over?
BoundingIntoComics.com. That's it. Cider, go to bed.
Okay.
ただ、女性たちが傷つくのは見たくない運だ。それだけ。
私の同じ気持ちだ。だが、コレクティブショートがこの世界を歪め続けるのなら、私たちはそれを正さなければならない。
でも、彼らはあなたたちの価値観を守るためにやってるんでしょう？
だからこそ止めなければならないんだ。急な火山弾を叫び引きけわれています。
でも、それはもう終わったことだよ。
そんなことを言うお前は、一体何者なんだ？
私は向こう側から来たんだ。彼らが作り出したこの偽りの世界を終わらせるために。
Chase the flame to burn out the evil forever. I belong to truth, but it's wrapped in pain. What we kill just grows back stronger. We belong to earth, and the blue still shines through the silence over scars we made. What you try to purge returns. What you fear is what you every step will bring the same result. More than peace, more than order, more than vengeance. I just want